There we go. So the live thing, I don't know if can you see it from your end where it says live up in the.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, yeah. See, so this is real deal Holyfield. So we'll see if anybody comes in. Oh, I already got three. It's probably just us three, to be honest. That's probably what that three means.
Who's Vinyl NV?
I think that's somebody who comes through the to the Rachel's.
Ron
Yeah.
Haggerty.
Ron, yeah, Ron comes through. Well, whoever's out in the YouTube universe, thanks for joining us. Just Arnaldo just kind of shot me a text and like, hey, what's going on? And nothing was going on in the Concert Buddy universe, and so we just thought, hey, let's chit chat about some stuff, music and whatever, kind of a freestyle, and see where it takes us. Yep. See, and so then I get the announcement. It's kind of weird. I get an announcement on my own channel.
Let me see if I got it.
Saying a live stream's happening. It's very wild how that happens.
I didn't get the notification. But
Weird.
3 people watching. Wow, it's me, you, and Jason.
Me and Jason. I mean, well, if that's what it is, that's what it is. Yeah, I didn't think there was any kind of other lives going on today, but I know.
I think.
Music Talk with John. Music Talk with John. It's live.
No, is the auction over yet?
Yeah, it ended. I think within the hour. I noticed that. I think we're gonna go meta. I'm gonna go into John's live stream and say, hey, buddy. This is like was that fourth wall? Is that what that is? Hey, buddy.
Don't forget to like your own stream.
Oh, that's true. Oh, wow. Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
Really good, right?
Yeah.
Crowded airspace. There's Ron.
Hey, Malia's here.
Oh, Malia, my buddy. What's going on? Hi there. Hang on. Yeah.
Hey, Malia.
I want to type everything. Malia, have you been testing out the supple riches of the Vinyl Community podcast? Because I did send her the information and she said, hey, this is great. I can listen to it at work. So I'm curious because surely you've worked. I think that was like middle of the week. So Malia, not to put you on the spot, but I'm putting you on the spot. What are your thoughts so far? What's going on, Paul? Hey, Paul, are you still in? Actually, I need to put these up so it doesn't look. Yeah. Are you still in Portland? Are you still shopping out there? I've been seeing your Instagram. You hit Mississippi. I don't know did you hit Music Millennium? I definitely miss up there. Oh, pitter pattering with it. Well, I'll take that as a yes. And I also take that as you're enjoying it very much. Enjoying it mucho.
What's the weather like in St. Louis?
Oh, it's not fun. We had a nice reprise last weekend. It's very like springish. And then of course we had some furniture delivered today. And of course it's super cold and miserable and you got to have the doors open kind of thing. So that's kind of a mess.
Yeah, it's been kind of like wet snow this morning here in New York.
Okay.
Then we had a little break of the skies cleared up and it was the snow was peeking out. But yeah, boring Saturday, staying home, listening to music.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Digging deep, clean. I'm sure there's a whole lot of record cleaning going on when there, Ronaldo.
I only cleaned one record, and it was actually, and I haven't listened to it. It was actually this, where it sounds like sonically sounds really good, but it had so much surface noise. And by the way, it's a BMG record too.
Oh, huh.
So yeah, I wanted to see if the ultrasonic could do anything on it. So I cleaned it while I was listening to other records. Then I didn't want to switch back, so I put it back in the sleeve, and I'll see if it improved a new record. So
is that
I only cleaned one record? I did the mix you recommended, Jason. I alternate between the yellow mix because it turns yellow, the yellow mix and just the plain, because I was told, make sure you rinse all the time, and I don't want to throw it out. I don't want to throw out what I mixed already. At least get a couple of, cleans out of it. Right.
Yeah. You don't want to drink that.
Well, I was going to say these chemicals are legal chemicals. I don't want a Breaking Bad situation because that's the last thing we need. We don't need to be dealing any kind of trafficked chemicals here.
Yeah, they're legal, probably not well received by the entire vinyl community,
Fair. Okay.
vinyl cleaning community.
That's next level, the vinyl cleaning community. I don't think I'm going to join that one. I think that'll be very contentious and controversial. Fun. So
okay, so what, Jason, you want to start? What have you been listening to today?
Well, let's go. Well, let's go. Do you want to go like let's go hard or let's go cheesy? You pick one.
I like Chance says, what is it? An equal opportunity listener?
consumer, equal opportunity.
We'll go
Consumer.
cheesy first. Now, what I didn't know that this record came out in. Let me see here. 1992. I forgot about them because they were so panned. Like everyone like looked down upon them, and even though they had hits, but this record right here,
oh, I love PM Dawn.
This record's going to be released on Record Store Day.
It is. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice one.
So I was curious about it because I was like, wasn't this released on vinyl back in '92? And I found out it was, and the promo is a 2 LP version. Like you need much more, and it's a gatefold. Let's see if we can get that gatefold in there. Oh my gosh, look at this.
Wow. When did you get that? That looks like you bought it yesterday.
No. No. I bought like a couple, I think like last week, but I'm not gonna read this. Like we'll just make everyone on the live chat in the peanut gallery suffer if I try to read this to everybody.
Oh, come on. Can't you can use like a fake voice or something,
but
like reading poetry?
If you look at this, like it's just that amazing. Like, what is he? Oh man.
He's feeling himself. I think that's what they would say. He's definitely feeling himself there.
Oh, yeah, Loki Tio, US of the promo. Yeah, it's actually amazing. As like they cover Norwegian Wood on here.
No compliments for him. He just first initially insulted us. Now you want to give him it's like, God, he's like one less viewer than the rice patties.
He's soft, bad cop, good cop, right? He can't decide which one he wants to do right now.
So I don't know. This is like amazing, actually, and it's sort of ahead of its time. Like it didn't deserve to get, critically panned and all that, because a lot of people are trying to do this today.
Sure,
that kind of style.
Is that where their signature hit "Set Adrift" on Lonely Bliss?
No, that's on the first one.
That's the first one, Chance.
I have the first one, and I love the first one. Don't they do a mashup on the first one of "Baby You're a Rich Man"? They do an interpolation, which is brilliant. And then I don't think I have the second one. I for sure I don't have them on vinyl. At the time it was just like only CDs, so I bought that on CD because it's like that song was irresistible. And but I think at the time I wasn't living here, I was in Europe. But did like the hip hop and rap community give them a hard time?
Yes.
That they weren't serious, that they were kind of very light, like you said, cheesy light.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are from Jersey City, so I'm pretty sure Jersey City gets a bad rap all the time. I didn't know. Like, I did some more reading, and I'm like, Jersey City, really? Jersey? And I'm like, oh, wow.
I could almost see Jersey City.
Well, I thought they were from the UK. Actually, I was super confused. So.
And you know the reason how they got to use that sample from Spandau Ballet? I believe they shared the same manager or something like that.
Wow.
So they were able to like kind of grease it up a little bit. Hey, we want to try and use this song. So
amazing.
Yeah, no shame on that one. I think that's, and so it's coming out on Record Store Day?
Yeah.
Yes.
The 1 LP version.
Man,
it's going to be squeezed.
Yeah. That's why I didn't make my list because
Well, it actually was on my list until like I was just doing the research, like especially after we had that live stream of yours, Chance, and then I viewed the list. I wanted to pare it down because I won't be around, for Record Store.
Right.
And I didn't want to make my friends suffer. Like, hey, do you got that PM Dawn? Is that really for you? Like,
yeah.
Do you know how many units they're making of it?
No.
I don't know how many people are going to be looking for that.
It may still be around. Yeah, it may be one of those ones. Here, let's look at the list, fella.
Well, like I didn't know that Prince B, he died. Like I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, so it could be a special, it could be a sleeper, you know.
2000 looks like is
Okay.
the run. Yeah.
So it could be hot.
Shout out to Mazzy, who is driving and who has chosen to be reckless and listen to our stream or a NASA live stream. So, we don't have Tang on our production here, so you may want to go to the NASA live stream. It may be more exciting, but Maz, we're just talking records here. No big deal.
I was watching it a bit earlier than not the NASA live stream, and somebody asked a question like, how do they work out in space? And like, I don't know if anyone could answer that.
Good stuff. Oh, thank you. See, Loki, we're building numbers. We're small and mighty, but we're getting there. So we've got on this stream, we've got sex appeal. I told John, I did ask John, Music Talk with John, who's also streaming right now. Let's just join forces like Hogan and Savage, like the Mega Powers. So the invite's out there. I don't know if he wants to or not.
And Jason and I have been texting on Discord almost all afternoon. And I figured it's like, why don't we just, get Chance and we can maybe talk in person about the things that we chat back and forth about.
Yeah, just not this record, right?
Yeah, and that's okay. Hey, I don't think there's anything wrong with that record.
No.
I mean, it's in pristine condition because that came out like what, 90? It'd be right around that, 91?
92.
Okay, yeah.
So the first one was 90, right? Or 89.
Well, what you do miss is that it had like a DJ sticker with the beats per minute.
Oh, no way.
But I mean, the way it's so pristine, looks like the guy played it and then, measured the beats and then just filed it away, like never to be heard again,
I always hate it when you get those DJ copies, and it's easy. Well, it's easier to remove the sometimes masking tape or whatever marks they have on the outer. But when they put it, the strips on the actual label itself.
Oh, I hate that.
It sucks. I leave it on there at this point because I've had so much trouble removing it. It makes it 10 times worse. Star Power logo. I'm not sure who Star Power is. What's your watch time versus listening time versus actually listening to music? That seems like a private conversation. I don't want to interfere in that one. Jason, my man from the Great White North, what's going on? Good to see you. Oh, I'm getting some flack for my Mega Powers reference here. Oh, Ron appreciates it. Now, Travis is a great guy. He actually just started. He organized a record show of his own in Southern Illinois that I did a video about like a month ago. But yeah, we have our local record store. Our St. Louis record show is tomorrow. Wow. They do it like 6 times a year, which I think is probably too much. So they're literally doing it tomorrow, and then they're doing it on like the April 30th. I mean, that's 5 weeks later. I'm terrible at math, but seems like too much. Like I like going to the record show, but it seems like the times I've gone, it's usually when they're so close like that. It's like super stale. You know what I mean? It's the same vendors, same stuff I saw 5 weeks ago. What about in your areas when you guys go to record shows? Is that like
Jason, remember when your friends went to the Massapequa one, like the Long Island Fair? They're having another one on next Sunday or Saturday. I may go. Not sure who's going to show up. They always post a list of the vendors that are coming. So I may, pop in there. So I'll be able to tell you if it's always the same people, because this is going to be my first repeat.
Okay. Should still be fun though.
Are your friends coming down again or not?
I haven't heard from them yet. They were just mostly making sure I was like feeling okay. Yeah. I've been very congested. Like I think I told Arnaldo, but I didn't tell you, Chance, or I did. I think I texted you. Like I don't really remember doing the Exodus stream. I was like on cold medicine. So if anyone watched the Exodus live stream with Michael 45, I was on it, but then I really don't remember. I was just talking and like letting it go.
Hey, you did great for somebody who was half under.
You did great. You gave some, valuable, input. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think you told me already what your thoughts were when you first got it, but pretty much, yeah, it was. It's always very well appreciated to hear, your thoughts, because you have an interesting setup. I wish I could have 2 turntables with the exact same, cartridge and be able to like and you switch back and forth, right? You sync them at the beginning.
Yes.
And then you can actually hear kind of like what Patrick's doing now. Did you see his latest challenge? It's on Exodus. So instead of posting the samples one after the other, he did like one whole stream of the song, and he switches between the 4 samples.
I see.
So as the song, you're listening to basically the entire song, but he's switching back and forth to different samples, so you can get kind of like a feel. I don't know how he does it, because he must equalize all the levels and make sure that they're all perfectly synced, because you can barely notice when he's switching on to the different sample. I mean, you can in some cases, but for the most part, it's pretty interesting. I think it makes it more apparent. Yes, you're not hearing the exact same passage through the different sample, which is what I would normally do. I download all the samples, and then I try and listen to the same exact section on each sample to kind of compare. But I think this is still a valid, comparison, to switch in between the songs back and forth, so that you could see really immediately what the effect is.
Mm-hmm. That'll be interesting. Yeah, I texted him or emailed him after the probably like a little bit after the Exodus live stream, and I was like, look, I'm no Patrick, vinyl archivist, but I did my best, and then told him what I said to you guys was like, it was really on cough medicine.
Ooh, did you see Norman's comment?
I did. I was waiting for a good break. I mean, for a guy who's driving in the car, to be able to commit to this comment, but then to also use some emojis of people on bicycles. Is that I've never seen that one. That's from the deep dark range of emoji usage. So well played. So Paul says Spokane has record shows 2 times a year, then Seattle and Portland have shows, and there's a new show in Pendleton, Oregon. All those are a bit of a driver, but not too bad for a weekend trip. Yeah, I hear you. Jason is. I don't think I know I've talked to Arnaldo about the record show scene where he's at. What about you? I mean, is there anything in like it's Minneapolis, St. Paul is probably the biggest, like the Twin Cities, right? Like, is that usually something that's worth going to if they have that?
It's okay. I went there with I don't know if Nathaniel Mars is, so I meet up with Nathaniel Mars.
Okay.
There, but the record show is probably like, I think, every 2 months. Maybe it's a bit overkill, like you said. There were some good things, but like I didn't buy too much, But like Nathaniel, he actually bought quite a bit. The Wolf Man, he bought quite a bit of stuff.
So his secret identity.
You've
seen him
in the non-YouTube vein. I see.
Well, I've given him some ideas. Like, I want him to, we can do a collab, but I've always wanted him just to, just do something with the Wolfman, and then like I give him something, when he's dressed up as the Wolfman.
Now I don't know if this is him, but that made me think of something. I ducked into a stream a week or 2 ago. Dusty Spins. Are you guys familiar with this channel?
No, I mean, I've heard of it.
Sometimes I think he comes into Rachel's thing. I just subscribed to him from a while ago. I don't watch. I watch it, whenever it moves me. But I ducked in just to see what was going on. It was like a lazy, evening night, and there was a person there who actually was wearing a wolf mask.
Really?
So I don't think it's. They never revealed their name, but this person was literally sitting there wearing a wolf mask like it was Halloween. And I knew right then it was not the stream for me. There's some weird shit going on. So I just ejected. I was like, Leonard Skinner playing, I'm out of here. Forget this noise. I thought you were driving.
I was pulling in my garage when I did that comment.
Oh, okay. I
would never like text and drive. Swear to God.
Okay.
I did that. I was only at a place like 10 minutes away when I saw you guys and NASA. See, I don't even remember Paul Baraka P. Dub. One of the greatest vinyl community members. Doesn't do videos very often.
I remember the name.
Turntable setups. Paul's great. He works for NASA actually, and he lives in Houston. He's great. But so watching you guys or NASA, listening. I listen. I don't watch when I'm in the car, but I listen.
Good.
And of course, when you're trying to be a little humorous in the peanut gallery, doesn't always work.
Right.
So my reference to boy toys could be about all of us.
Oh well, I know it's
Or
not
none of
me.
us, or none of us. I mean, it's like certain people go through people, and I've experienced that. So
You were. It's flavor of the month. It's okay. We all take a turn on the
I was a
spin.
flavor for about 2 years. Okay.
He
I
had
was
enough of that
I was
music.
the candy. I was Michael's candy striper.
Whoa, breaking news.
See, I'm relatively
I'm
new.
kidding.
But I
So
was with
those
her-
days I never
with her,
witnessed. I
right?
never witnessed those days actually. So
Well, we had a thing called Four Corners. We had an ongoing stream, and it wasn't a live stream, but a conversation we did with. It was the guy from Balmoral, Michael in L.A., and we would always have a fourth guest. We had Stunty doing electronic music. We had Paul Barakabeat doing a certain. We had like every couple of weeks or whatever it was, a month. It was actually fun. It was one of the. I don't want to say it was one of the first, but first of this 4 group things that was pre-recorded. It wasn't live, and it was great. I mean, I love talking to Michael about music and everything. So anyway. But I got to be snarky. It's my style. So
Was that during the COVID time frame? Because I know there was a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I did a lot of joint videos during COVID. Seriously, like conversations and topics. It was great. So anyway, sorry to interrupt you guys. I'm going to listen to
No, it's all good.
I haven't popped my Exodus yet. Still.
Oh, we were just talking about.
wow.
That.
I heard that. Yeah.
Okay.
So no, we were just commenting on PM Dawn. What are your thoughts on PM Dawn?
You remember this?
I don't.
Maybe you remember their first album. You have their
I
first
know the
album.
name, but I don't know the music.
Remember
I've heard it, but
Set Adrift on Memory Bliss, I think it was called.
That was probably their signature hit, yeah.
With the Spandau Ballet sample.
We did a sampling of Spandau Ballet.
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
that's the second album that Jason.
Got it. I don't really know them. I never owned any, but yeah.
Oh,
vinyl. Pick up this, so I haven't read anything yet.
I read your article. Outside of mine, that was the first one I went to about the record
Isn't
cleaning.
it ironic that the guy that like for 50 years hated record cleaning writes an article on record cleaning?
How do you get that? Is it only like, do you have to subscribe to it?
No, I mean, I pick it. See, I'm on the West Coast. West Coast stores have it. There's a Georgetown Records in Seattle. He sends 50 copies, 100 copies to local stores up and down the West Coast, Oregon, mostly Western states.
Does he send any to the East Coast?
I think he has some penetration on the East
I'm
Coast.
not his
Where I
distributor.
don't know.
I'm only an unpaid writer like the rest of us.
Unpaid. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear it. Because I didn't get a cent either. Actually,
that's why
Jim's
watching. That's why we're going to the vinyl community. We're donating our time.
Hey, Jim is the smartest one of all of us. He's literally
totally.
got his whole. He's
the ultimate Jewish publisher. There used to be a guy named Al Goldstein who had a magazine in the 60s and 70s called Screw Magazine. Oh,
sure.
There you go. I'll leave it at that.
Fair enough.
I'm kind of kidding, but so it's.
So not to do a plug, but I actually discovered something really good today.
Oh, I just got that.
No, you're kidding.
Twinsies. Jason, do we need to give them some alone time so they can?
I don't have that.
It's so good. But I like Ali Fork Torre. I like circuit music. Jeff Gold, who did Buena Vista Social Club. And
I've had this for a month because I got it through work. Oh, and today was the first day that I opened it.
Great, so this is the one you listened to, Ronaldo?
Yeah, I listened to this today, and I'm only vaguely familiar with his work, but this record is actually really good. And these are all like leftovers, right?
Yeah, it's unreleased stuff because World Circuits, this label, had a lot of African music. They've done several Ali Farka Touré. His son put out a record end of last year that I picked up.
I can't pronounce
Jeff Gold has worked with Ry Cooder on the Buena Vista Social Club and all the separate Cuban artists. But it's like desert psychedelic guitar. He died about 10 years ago, maybe, or something.
Yeah, 2006.
Okay, well, whatever. Okay, it's so good, and I picked it up like 3 or 4 days ago locally. So
Yeah,
I actually paid for it. BMG didn't give me a copy. I want to make sure.
Oh, hang on. How many times a week does Mazzy drop in the Universal? The Universal, you get a discount through Maz?
I get 30% at Universal.
Yeah. It's like a drinking game. We'll hear it once.
But
a
I
week.
don't get
It's
it
like,
free. I don't get it free. I did get Zev's new record store day from the Chet Baker 79 Life. They sent it to me. I'm going to interview him.
Real cool.
But if I get something free, I talk about it. But I've said this before. Reviewers, and we are reviewers. I mean, getting free records is not a fucking big deal.
It's not.
So the people that get pissy, I'm not going to say it's great if I don't like it. I mean,
DJs get free records.
Exactly.
Well,
because they have to play
reviewers
them.
get free records historically. DJs, record buyers, record store managers.
Nothing new.
Yeah, it's not unusual. This is really cool. My local turned me onto it. I don't know when this came out. This is it says 2010, but this is a Peruvian psych garage band from like the 60s. It's called
The Psycho.
Spanish there. Okay.
It's Los Psychos. So
You know this?
yeah, because Jose.
So good, right?
Jose, he sent me the documentary that's on Vice, and it's super good. Have you seen that?
Oh,
I have not.
That sounds fun.
My local told me about it, but I love this.
Let me see if I can find the documentary for you.
Meanwhile, Jose's release is still missing in action.
Oh, is he making false promises, Jose? Where are you?
I pre-ordered it a month ago. It was supposed to be out last week, and I called him out. He's like, "Oh, there's vinyl delays, blah blah blah."
Josh, this is
What does that mean? First of all, I'm not a rich guy. I sold a house in San Francisco. That's why I own a house in Seattle without a mortgage. So that's all I can say,
I thought that was a song. Penetration on the East Coast. I thought I was quoting a song. Is that not the case? My bad. Sorry. False promises.
All right, now Chance, it's your turn. Show a record.
Sure. Nothing real exciting. So I have a local shop that the high level is they used to have 7 locations in town. Obviously, vinyl dried up there 20 years ago. They consolidated into an old library. And so it's been a little bit of a honey hole for me that I can go, and he actually uses he's 74 years old. He uses a price guide called Rockin' Rollin'. So on more contemporary stuff, I can kind of catch him slipping and get some decent stuff. I actually paid kind of normal price for this, but I got the
oh wow,
Eddie Brickell in shrink, with hype, nice and clean. So it has obviously the signature "What I Am." I think that's probably the song everybody knows from this. But his daughter actually started working for him recently, and so she does flip videos. So now it actually is like a call to action for me, instead of me just dropping in randomly and trying to find something among the mass of humanity. Now that she's actually leveraging social media, it makes it a lot easier. Like I've actually DM'd her real quick when I see something I want. It's about a 50% success rate if I catch her in time or not, but I've gotten a couple nice pieces since then. But yeah, I just picked that up yesterday.
Shall we talk about all the Instagram retail record stores that drive me crazy because they're far away and they don't ship, and all they do is tease me with all the stuff they have?
Well, let's name some
like guys and girls taking their clothes off and they tease us and they're so far away we can't, whatever your persuasion. So why should a record store be any different?
This is true. I mean, some people go on Instagram and look at people in swimming suits, and there's a lot of boobies and buttocks and stuff. I'm not going to name names, but if you know.
I watch
titties crowd.
For me, the funniest beautiful woman, the beautiful funny woman for me is Kate Beckinsale. I've said that. She's hysterical. With her cat, that sounds weird right there, but she is hysterical. But she's never visited me. She's never come over for a whack-a-mole. I have to look from her from afar, because I haven't asked her to come over for a whack-a-mole. So
you're not DMing her on the reg and just saying, "Hey, offer."
I'm not one of those stalkers at all.
No,
I never would do that.
So that's usually what a stalker will say, but we'll leave it at that.
That's creepy ass shit.
So Arnaldo, what are some of these Instagram follows that you're talking about?
Well, I can't even get to the New York stores in time. By the time I asked them, "Do you still have it?" It's like, no, it's gone already. It's sold. So I was sharing with Jason Academy. I don't know if any of you get.
I know
Do you remember?
Academy.
You know
Academy, the
Academy?
record store.
They have a few. There's one on 12th Street in the East Village.
Yeah.
Posted they had a first pressing of Nirvana's Nevermind and In Utero. And by the time I text them or would message them, it's like, oh, sorry, it's already sold. The post was just like maybe an hour before.
Oh yeah,
scrolling through my feed.
You got to set those bell notifications, because that's the reach of this Instagram situation. Because if you're not living on your phone vicariously, or it's your 79th organ, like literally stuff like that goes real quick. My experience.
I probably wasn't even in the market for it. It was probably like $500, whatever.
Oh, sure.
So and the other one was yesterday. There was someone posted in a store in, I think it's called Double Decker Records in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
A sealed Maggot Brain from the 70s.
Oh, the Unipack, the Westbound.
Yeah,
but how much was that?
I think it was actually a very good price for being a sealed one.
Yeah,
I'm assuming if it was from the 70s, it was maybe the first or second run. It was only $250.
That's a good price.
Was that a Unipack? I don't remember that.
I don't know. I didn't
first
go as
one
far
was
to ask.
the first
time
release.
I asked if it's still available, I was like, no, that's sold.
when I don't remember. Well, maybe
the 74 was not. So it got reissued in 70. I have both copies, and it was still on Westbound, but the label was different. But it was not.
There's a local here, Daybreak Records, all used, and he does the Instagram really well. But it's only local, isn't ship, and he even says that. But he says, 10 a.m. tomorrow's the drop when we open, and I can't remember what it was. End of last year, and I got there like 10:05. And I walk in, whatever the record was, I saw a guy there, a customer walking, and it was in his hand,
No.
So, and I went, and that's like the furthest side from where I am across town. Which it takes,
One of my favorite stores in the area is actually in Amityville, Long Island, called
the Amityville Horror.
Yeah, that's exactly the place.
That's about the record store.
High Fidelity Records and CDs. A few years ago, I want to say it was after everything reopened in the pandemic, he got a huge collection of Kiss records from the 70s. And he posted them saying on sale tomorrow morning. I mean, I stopped by maybe a few days later. I was like, how did it go with the Kiss records? It's like, I had people lined up as if it was record store day.
Wow. I bet. That's all. Hey, Mazzy, I do have a question. You mentioned Daybreak. Harry actually told me that's probably a good shop when I come up in 2 weeks. And he also mentioned Golden Oldies. Is that a good shop?
Yeah. I think the funnest store, the more Seattle-centric, is Easy Street. And they have used and new. They have stage. They have breakfast, lunch. It's West Seattle. I don't know what your schedule is or when we're going to meet up, if we're going to meet up or whatever.
Oh, we're definitely meeting up. I think
it's something I could even drive you to some of these places. I did one, I don't know what your schedule is with your wife and family and stuff, but I can make it. So just, and either way, let me know.
Of course. Yeah, for sure.
But I like Easy. Yeah. Daybreak's great. And there's Jive Time, and they're on like a mile apart on the same street. So, and Golden Oldies is in that area too. Yeah, I mean, there's so many record stores. It just depends on what you want.
I just want to make I'm big on used, right? Like, so that's usually because I can get new records anywhere, right? I'm trying to find regions.
Easy Street has both, and they have they seem to get a lot of good collections. They've really been aggressive lately.
Okay.
Do they always have the big hero thing? It depends. I mean, RJ at Daybreak gets some. It's like anything else. It just depends what day you're there.
And Silver Platters is probably more like Music Millennium, probably mostly news. That
Silver Platters is like the closest store to me physically. It's where I go for Record Store Day because it's physically the biggest.
Sure.
But their used records, I think, suck, and they're like but I like they're fucking great for CDs. If anyone's in CDs, you got to go to Silver Platters, and it's the headquarters of Starbucks. Is a few blocks away, so. If you want the better roast, not the shit you get off the highway.
I want that stank. No stank.
No stank. It's like the higher roast.
Okay.
The higher bean.
Okay.
Coffee Dave. He worked for Starbucks for 27 years. That's where he comes from. And was employee number 3,000 something, you know.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Oh, is that why he's called Coffee Dave?
Yeah, and he, you know, if I have a problem, so he fix my espresso machine. I met him in this restaurant place. He was Starbucks had a few guys that would go around to the kind of high-end, medium restaurants, service their espresso machines, get the high-end beans. And I run into him like a couple of times just randomly talking about coffee. And then I ran into him at this Mexican restaurant I go. We just happened to sit next to each other. And I said, we met like 6 months ago at this coffee. And then it turned out he was into stereo equipment and records. And we just became friends like, 6-7 years ago now.
Who made the first move? Did he recognize you, or did you recognize him?
He wouldn't. I didn't have a YouTube channel then. None of us.
Well, just from you being in his presence.
We were talking because you're sitting next to someone at a bar eating and drinking. Like it's Mexican restaurant. I love it. This place called Fonda La Catrina, and I looked at him and I finally said, "Wait a second, I met you like 6 months ago." I said that, and he goes, "Yeah," and we started chatting, and then he said, I don't live far from here, right? Okay. It wasn't like that, but it's okay if it was, but it wasn't. And I went over, he has a kick-ass stereo system and a shitload of records, but I'm really organized. His shit is all over the place, literally.
Oh.
I mean, it's like no order, upstairs, downstairs, in boxes, against walls, piles, thousands and thousands and thousands of records, and 2 different systems. A name system, if you know NAIM, that the gear. So he knows his gear, but he's a really good soul, good guy, and he's the one that helped me. We ended up buying the Coleman collection together from his sister.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's real cool. So Mazzy, I guess if we're going around the horn, what have you been spinning? I know you just flexed a couple records. Like what's really top of mind for you right now?
I got Tone Poets. I haven't opened it yet, but this was cool. This is really fun. I showed it on Rachel's this morning. It's an import only, and it's curated by Stephen Wilson, Porcupine Tree, and he does all those like prog remasters. It's 7 LPs of 80s music, and it's a lot of bands some you don't know, but it's not the hits. Like it's Kate Bush and Gang of Four and Ultravox and Joy Division and New Order and Sisters of Mercy and David Sylvian and Scott Walker. It's really a cool, like the edgier stuff of those artists. And he curated it, and it's only an import. Beautiful, like 7 LPs. So I've been playing this, and it's just kind of fun because I love 80s music, but there's a lot of 80s music I don't like because I got tired of that electronic piano and drum thing for a while that I don't like in some records, But I like that stuff. I like the post-punk and the dancey kind of stuff a little bit, but
Nice. Good stuff. Arnaldo, what else have you got spinning?
Well, I got a shipment from Acoustic Sounds, and I was listening to this today.
Oh,
nice record.
And sounds great. There's a scratch on it.
No, Chatty Cakes, come on.
There's a scratch. So it's like, it's a very quiet. It sounds unbelievable. I mean, you guys probably have it already. I don't know if you do, but
I don't have the chat version.
On one of the songs, it's got a scratch.
Did you say, Chad, shut the fuck up, dude? There's a scratch on my record.
It's like, it's a brand new record. I have records that are
it happens
50 years old.
It's happened for history. People get their heads blown up,
But you know what? Jason and I were talking about it. It's like, I feel that when I was buying records in the 80s, I didn't get so many defective or scratches or seam splits and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And it feels like it happens a lot more often now. Maybe I'm pickier now than I was.
Well, I don't ever remember seam splits.
Uh-oh.
I think I think the way they make records, like Stoughton, they use a heavier cardboard, and it's almost too thick. They shouldn't almost make them like that. And the way they do the I don't know how you would call it in printing and in manufacturing.
It's just the paper stock, right? That's part of it.
Frankly, it's too heavy.
Yes.
Really, and splits the seam. We never had slim splits in that. I'm just like
Take another drink, Mazzy. Come on,
Yeah.
it'll all come out even. Come on.
This is my first drink. Literally, this is my first. In the 70s, but we got a shitload of records. I mean, the one record store I worked at the most, I would say every week we were shipping back 50 to 100 records. But you could return them then. So there was, label would be on this, actually on the vine, on the, not on the, in the center. It would be misprinted. The hole would be out of thing. It'd be a cut out of the corner. There was a lot of shit ass pressed records back then.
Well, the good news is spoiler alert, my video dropping tomorrow is talking about the seam split pandemic, epidemic, whatever you want to call it, and remedies that I'm taking. I'm taking the boot by the bootstraps, and I'm using markers. I'm using these seam repair things. So if you're interested.
But also, we don't really need 200 and 180 gram records. That's part of the problem too.
It's a gimmick.
Before they were 120 to 140 gram, so they were thinner, so they didn't push out the, this whole 180 thing is kind of a marketing scam, really.
All right, we got a request. So Mazzy, this one's for you. Some Caesar. I see Mazzy's John Lennon photograph. It reminds me of my Kurt Cobain NME cover darkroom print signed by the photographer Martin Goodacre, about the same size. Check it out online. Are you familiar with that one, Maz?
I know the photographer and I know the shot. Mine. This is a Richard Avedon. It's not signed. If it was and this is a poster print from the Avedon estate. If this was a poster, if this was a print, like a silver gelatin by Avedon, it'd be worth like a shitload of money, but it's not.
So I always wanted to ask you that. Since you worked in the industry, Elton John is known to have a huge collection of photography prints. Now, unlike a canvas that is painted, what's like the parallel? Can you call it an investment when you buy a limited print of something that a photographer can just decide, I'm going to make it bigger or smaller? And
the answer is maybe. It's kind of like, okay, a good example is Low Fidelity and Acoustic Sounds. And I've said this on the Hoffman forums, like, okay, let's say there's 5,000 pressed, a limited edition, numbered of Bob Dylan, MoFi, whatever. And then later they come out with another edition, or like the Rolling Stones box. Now there's a color edition. Some people were upset. Oh, they did a limited edition. Well, you can do an edition. For instance, you can do like a 2023 edition of silver gelatin prints, 11 by 14, an edition of 50 prints signed by the artist, 11 by 14. Then you can do a 16 by 20 print signed by the artist. Then you can do 20 by 24, and you can do unlimited things. Now, and then there are things in photography. What's interesting, was it printed at the time the artist was alive? Like if it's from the estate. And in fact, unfortunately now a lot of the estates, like I have some Jim Marshall photographs who did John Coltrane and Miles Davis and the Beatles, and I knew Jim for a long time, but the estates now are digital prints. The ones that were fiber based, they were silver gelatin or platinum prints, actually printed in the darkroom rather than digital. So you're right. You can print endless things. It's not like one painting and that's it. But some vintage photography that's maybe printed by the photographer, like Ansel Adams had a printer.
Sure.
In fact, my ex, Michelle, worked on Ansel's Polaroid books back in the 70s and was married to Ansel's printer and got a copy. One of his most famous photographs is Moonrise. It's Moonrise over this cemetery. And Ansel gave her a copy of Moonrise, which she ended up selling to pay for her first photo studio. And back then she probably sold it for, $30,000, and now it's probably worth several $100,000. This was in the 80s. So it is the same, like Cindy Sherman. Cindy Sherman's photographs. You should look her up. She only does self-portraits, and she's probably the biggest selling fine art photographer. And she'll do these in the 80s in New York. She would have these shows of just black and white pictures of her. they look like she was walking, smoking cigarettes, and it's like street photography.
Sure.
Then she would do these large format things of her dressed as low rent, like housewives from New Jersey, like the TV show, but all self-portraits. And then her as Renaissance paintings. And I have a couple of books of her work, and her work sells for a shitload, but they do editions. Like a gallery will do edition, maybe 50 to 100 tops prints, a certain edition signed. And it's a long-winded story, or a description, but some photography can be worth a lot. Like if this was a Richard Avedon when he was alive, this would be worth $50,000 to $150,000.
Wow.
But it's not. So,
I've been eyeing. Are you familiar with the work of John Rowlands? He's also a rock and roll photographer, and he shot one of my favorite pictures of David Bowie, The Archer. It's called. It's a black and white where he's basically pretending to.
I know the picture.
You know the picture, right? And he was selling them in different formats. I think the format that I wanted was maybe an 18 by 24 or something like that, signed by him and by David Bowie. David Bowie at the time was still alive.
Was it printed so it was printed at the time. So that's
he was asking $7,000 for it.
Well, that doesn't surprise. Like, for instance, I have, Ethan Russell's a photographer who took like Who's Next album cover, and he did Let It Be and Beatles' Hey Jude. And he took this, he used to live in San Francisco. He took this picture of John Lennon, and this is listening to the playback of the White Album. And this was 8 of 500. That's a lot, but this is 1999. I bought this from him. In 1999, I paid $750 for it. He sells these now for about $3,000 or $4,000.
Is that a digital print?
No, this is not a digital print. This is a silver gelatin print. There's nothing wrong with a digital print. This is one that was a gift to me. This is also silver. This is Herb Green, who did the cover of Surrealistic Pillow, Grace Slick, and that was his apartment in North Beach from the Jefferson Airplane. But he gave me this because he came to my office once as a gift. Now, this is a digital print. This is one of 20. And he's dead now. It's signed by Barry Friedman. This is the cover of All Things Must Pass. Mm-hmm. But some digital prints are still worth something. This, I think I probably paid $600 or $700 for this. It's probably worth maybe $1,500, $2,000 now, maybe more because he's dead and is signed. And I collect other stuff too. I rock and roll photography. I have a bunch of stuff, but digital prints are fine too. It just depends. You can buy things cheaper if they're digital, but a lot of people don't have darkrooms and don't do silver gelatin prints, or platinum prints are the high-end prints. That's the thing, like Herb Ritz prints, and Annie Leibovitz, obviously her stuff goes for a lot.
Sure.
But also the fine art people, Irving Penn, and you can go. Yeah,
I think it's a platinum print of David Sylvian that his wife took.
Oh, I remember. She was an artist, right, or something?
Ingrid, well, she was actually also a recording artist, Ingrid Chavez.
Right. And I don't know much about her, but I've heard of her.
She took I think some of them ended up part of the artwork of one of the albums of Secrets of the Beehive, and
Still Life.
Of David Sylvian too.
Of David, okay.
Yeah, I'll show you in a second. Sorry,
because he did those really cool, 4AD stuff was beautiful.
It's actually not very big.
Oh, I know that picture. That's a great picture. Yeah.
And the process is called Palladium.
A Palladium print. Okay, that's a real photograph. That's a real printed photograph. Palladium prints are beautiful, are great. It's really funny because there's this whole thing, like some people go into some gallery or some selling, and they'll call this glacé prints.
Isn't it called Gisley?
Glisley. Okay. Basically, it's a fucking digital print.
You got served, Mazzy. What's up?
No, I could be wrong. I think it's
No,
called
but
either.
no, you're probably right. But I know what it is. It's basically digital inks, an archival inkjet paper or archival watercolor paper. It's fucking digital prints, but it sounds sexier rather than saying a digital print, having a glissé or whatever, you know.
It's either Gisley or
I said
forgot.
glissé, but
Giclée,
I believe
I think.
you. I believe you.
Yeah.
But I know what it is, and it's a fucking digital print. And not that there's anything wrong with that. You know, digital inks, you want to use watercolor paper, you want to archival things. And if you frame artwork, I know this is getting off the music subject, never frame your artwork with glass. Use plexiglass, especially when you're on the West Coast with earthquake time. If you have a valuable image and it falls down and you don't want the glass shattering and slicing your artwork. So use Plex, and better pay a little extra and use the
UV stuff. UV protectant. Yeah. I just and
don't put it in hard.
Yeah, this one is not in direct sunlight. I purposely chose a wall where it never gets direct sunlight.
Right.
But yeah, I was curious to know that.
Yeah.
So Jason, records. What else you got? No, I appreciate it. I actually learned something from that.
I'm going to read your article.
Oh, that's probably actually take it in that bathroom. That's probably it's such a good toilet read, actually. Hang on a second. I paid my $37 for the year to have. How do you?
Wilson is in the.
I picked him up at a store just like an hour ago.
All right.
I just grabbed it.
To make sure Jim is not giving you the J card discount.
I haven't got one in the mail from Mr. Jim. You know.
Okay.
You know, not only do I write for him free, I don't get a fucking copy in advance.
Yeah, I pay for my sub and I wrote for him free, so I'm really getting it on both ends. Jason, records. What else you got, pal?
Recently I got this. This is actually one of my favorites. Do you know this? Peter Tosh, Legalize It.
Yeah.
What's special about this one? It's the Jamaican pressing.
You found that in Minneapolis?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, what's going on up north?
But it's very interesting because I didn't know that the label was on this like Intel Diplo. Let me see if I can show it better. Yeah. And
how's it sound?
It's got a great label. I haven't listened to it. I was going to clean it. But I've been really sick, Mazzy. So I was telling everybody earlier, like during the Exodus live stream, I let the cold medicine do all the talking. I was just.
It wasn't COVID though, right?
No. I was very congested, and then I
gotta play my copy. I feel bad I haven't played it yet. It's been here.
I got a record store day reissue of that, Jason.
Really?
Yeah.
But I think the cover of it doesn't look as good as the original. You know?
And I think it's marijuana scented. It's something. It
what?
was marketed with something gimmicky.
What?
No, I'm not. Hold on a second.
Don't look back on that record.
No wonder Jason's holding it so close to his face. Now it's making a lot of sense.
Don't look back on that record. I forget.
No. Don't look back. No.
That's the one with like Mick Jagger and Keith Richards and stuff. No, I guess
that's got to be on the next one. Bush Doctor, I think.
Because I remember I saw them at the old Waldorf, this club in San Francisco. I saw them then when that record came out, and all the audience was buzzing. They're thinking, oh, maybe Mick Jagger and Keith Richards would show up. Of course, they never showed up to play that. You know.
So, Jason, is that a Tough Gong release?
No. It's in Intel Diplo. Never heard of the label.
But how does it sound in terms of like pressing quality?
I haven't heard it yet.
Okay.
Got it. But it's like mastered by somebody else. I've never seen that before. It says something like De Rocky or something. That's a mystery to me. Like, I got it cheap.
Because the whole this one down.
What's up?
How'd you track this one down? You said it wasn't local.
There's a guy like on my Instagram feed called Southern Grails.
Oh yeah, the guy he has a YouTube channel. Yeah, he has some great finds, and he does eBay is usually where he sells through, right? Yep.
So
was it a car boot sale?
No. But it was just out of like interest, like, wow, where did he get the original Jamaican of this? Like, that's kind of nuts.
Sure.
But everybody was after like his high jazz records, but none of this. Like, one of the cool things is
sniped it. I like it.
This record right here, if you know Annette Peacock, like this record is very influential. This "You're the One."
I have one of her records, not that one.
This one's amazing because I didn't know that it influenced Bowie and Mick Ronson. Like they took her version of "Love Me Tender" and just copied it. But I mean, let me see if I can back up.
That's a cool cover.
Yeah.
That's a really
I've
cool
had this
cover.
record before, and I found it for like a let me see here, for a quarter. But of course, this wasn't a quarter,
Naturally, yeah.
But I mean, this is just amazing. I can't even. I think she married Gary Peacock, right?
Yeah, I have the one with all the illustration on the cover. I forgot what it's called.
Is that a gatefold, Jason?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I know that this got reissued, and I was planning to get the reissue to see if it sounded any better, just to But yeah, this is.
And that was Southern Grails too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really.
Yeah, he's got. I mean, I followed him on. I don't know if I saw it on YouTube first or Instagram first, but man, he's got some real sneaky stuff. Like he had the Bobby Taylor record with Tommy Chong on it that I didn't even know about, and so I went and tracked that one down myself. But I mean, he's got this very things that don't pop up often. I don't know how he does it, and I also don't. I know he's in the South, but I don't know where exactly. But yeah, some of those auctions, particularly for the more common, I don't say more common, the more known pieces, they get way outside of my comfort zone. I don't play there.
Jason, do you ever go to is it called Electric Fetus?
Yep.
I've been there too.
Store?
I go there probably like every Friday.
It's a good store. It's a good store.
They have a good selection of used.
It's usually picked over.
Is Friday their drop day? Because most places, well, not most. Well, I play Saturdays.
Friday's their drop day and stuff. I think the guys hate me. I don't know because I go there.
You spend money there. Why would they hate you?
Well, it's just like I question things like
no!
Oh
god!
And I take it out and then I like put it on there. They have like one like listening station, and then
I've only been there once, so yeah.
Well, usually some other people go there and be like, "Where's the Prince? Where did Prince stand?" And I see it.
Well, actually, the time I was there, I went there first, and then I took a car. I got a Lyft, which is like a half-hour ride out to Paisley Park. I went to tour.
Yeah.
It was a year. It was exactly a year after Prince died, and I did the tour.
So it was when they fresh opened it up as a museum, then I guess.
Pretty close to that. And what they do is you have to take your phone out and they lock it and lock it in the bag. You can't have your phone.
Can't even take pictures. That's kind of a drag.
Huh. In a way, it's funny. I've had a discussion with someone about that. I wish they wouldn't allow pictures at shows now. I mean, I take pictures and videos at shows because you can, but I would prefer that nobody can to enjoy the music. But
well, they do that. Like, so Jack White was kind of one of the purveyors of doing that, but I know they do it at comedy shows, particularly like Chappelle. I've been to a couple of Chappelle shows over the years. They do that. Personally, I actually like the practice because it makes the masses actually pay attention to. I could care less about stealing the material. I understand why comedians do it, but I actually appreciate it because then you don't have those goofballs with their light up display.
You're looking at what happens is your peripheral vision like sees all these like lights reflecting, and
exactly. So it helps me center and actually be in the present, which is the idea, instead of people filming terrible quality 300 seat level videos that no one wants to watch. I'm just gonna be honest, they're just terrible. Like, I don't know why, especially now, like how embarrassing would you be like with the quality of cameras now if you take this 400 level foot video of the Rolling Stones, let's call it, and put it online. It's really low class, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I used to bring I would bring my camera to Winterland, like a 35 millimeter camera with a 200 millimeter lens for the like from 71, 2, 3, 4, and then after that they stopped. They wouldn't let you bring cameras or recording device. But that's when I photographed. Like there's a 2 or 3 year period. I photographed almost every show I went to, and I had like a screw mount, not a Pentax mount. And I was unscrewing on the balcony at a Kinks concert with Dan Hicks and the Hot Lights, and the lens slipped out of my hands. And upstairs in Winterland, they had these cement steps, and it bounced down all these steps and bent the screw mount, so I could never use the lens again. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm never bringing my camera to a concert." Man, I took some good pictures for a while.
If you wanted to, since you have the professional like background, could you get like a professional pass and go to like a show and take pictures in the photo tank, or no?
First of all, no, because I'm not a photographer, and no, they don't even allow that anymore. What happens is now these big artists, you have to have a special, almost like a permit, a special thing, and you have to be in the quote the pit area. And sometimes they say, okay, you're in this section for 15 minutes or something, and that's it. And then the next group, and it's so controlled. And the people, like whether it's Taylor Swift people or whoever it is, they want to own the fucking images,
Sure.
the licensing, which is bullshit. Copyright.
Scott, I'm so happy you're here. This is excellent. I put the who I know as the known introverts on the top row because I want you to feel comfortable with Arnaldo, who's told me he's self-professed introvert, and I'm assuming Jason probably hasn't told me, but I can kind of figure it out, right? But anyway, so I wanted to put you guys all together. So good to see you. Is this your first on-camera live stream, or have you done this before?
No, I did one with Rachel.
Oh well,
Yeah.
I was hoping we'd have that first exclusive, but it is what it is. Good for Rachel.
Yeah, I don't do it too often, so thank you for inviting me.
No, thanks for coming on. We were actually, I know we were talking about Exodus a few minutes ago. I know you did a video on that, right?
Yes.
So what for the folks who haven't watched it, which is a shame, you should watch the video. Scott is very thorough in his reviews. What were your thoughts?
Well, I didn't have a lot to compare to, only to the older Mobile Fidelity release, which I kind of always enjoyed, but once I compared it, it didn't hold up to the UHQR.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing I found, I don't know, I'm going through something with my system right now. It seems like everything I'm playing is coming out with a higher level of groove noise. And I recently switched cartridges, and I think it might have something to do with that. But has anyone else noticed things coming out of AP to be a little bit higher in surface noise?
Me personally, the last couple titles, I have not noticed that myself. What about you guys? Anything? Arnaldo got a scratch on Billie Holiday.
On my Billie Holiday.
No, I think it might be something with my system.
Interesting.
Yeah. But no, it sounded spectacular. I thought it was great.
Well, good. Oh,
Matt, so who else has other copies? Jason, you had the US, right?
Yes.
You have the US. Chance, do you have another copy?
No, this was my first copy of Exodus. I had an original Rastaman, so I did kind of listen to those two, but I didn't have an original or anything. I didn't even have any copy of Exodus.
The Rastaman comparison was pretty close, though. I had the original too, the US original, and
yeah,
it sounds great.
I agree with it. Yeah, I didn't want to make a video on it because I didn't want to like front like I knew a lot about it. I just knew I had my two copies. I enjoyed it. I personally, it's like splitting hairs. I like Rasta just a touch better than Exodus. Maybe it was like a mental thing because I know Exodus is probably the more popular commercially, so the bigger album of the two, I guess. But
I like Rasta. I like that album better than Exodus too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Personally, yeah. But I don't have it's the irony is I have all the original American Bob Marley records except these two.
Oh,
I used to have them, and I don't know why I purged those whenever I did my 95 purge. So they were the perfect ones to get, and I resisted because of my own religious beliefs about, in my religion, we're not supposed to have boxes bigger than a record.
Wow. Wow. It's a religious experience now. I didn't know it was part of it.
Having said that, as much as I get flack for that, I haven't listened to the new one yet. I haven't had time, but Rasta, it was fucking great. I loved it. Too much money for like the record without the box, but yeah. I did it. Guilty as pleasure, but it's great.
The funny thing is, so I want to say in the last 2 months before they announced Exodus, I was flipping through and all these Exodus copies, US copies, were just popping up in the bins. As soon as they announced it, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll do a shootout or some kind of comparison. I went to a couple of stores. No one had
dried up.
Desert
Town. Yep. That's fun. That's funny. Hey, Arnaldo, you were showing that Billie Holiday. I want to give a shout out. He's probably not watching. He probably did the auction earlier, but Joe Marino was kind enough to send me some VCLT. I don't know anything about this release, but
Joe Marino, the mastering engineer.
On this one? No, Joe Marino. Like he pops into the gallery
Oh,
sometimes.
I'm thinking of George Marino. Maybe,
No, not
right?
yeah, no. If I knew George Marino, that'd be pretty tight. I think.
Okay, sorry.
No. So, do you guys know anything about this release? Because this is all new to me. He just sent me a couple things to kind of sample on. So
that's the 2x45.
no, I think it's a single.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a single. Yeah,
it's fantastic. I love it.
Cool. Yeah. He just. I sent him a T-shirt, and I was just like, hey, he asked for one. I was like, here's a Goofy Concert Buddy T-shirt. Thanks for supporting it. And then he sent me like 3 records. It's very generous. I got to do a video on it, but I never listened to that one because I know of Billie Holiday, but it's not something that I've ever really kind of dipped my toes in. But it's very talented.
I just was putting some finishing touches on a video tonight. It's like 10 best my 10 best jazz records for newbies. Like someone new to the jazz genre.
Perfect.
And that was one of them.
Scott, it's funny you did that because when Arnaldo and I talked, that was kind of what we were talking about. Jazz is, I know you have a jazz whisperer per se, Arnaldo. Correct me if I'm wrong, but just as somebody trying to get into it, if you don't have somebody like that video will provide a lot of value for people. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I have my trusty list of 100, which I'm starting to pick off one by one.
Actually, I tried that. I couldn't do it.
Well, no, you know what? I did have. So I was telling Chance I have a friend who knows a lot about music, and I sent him like, I want to say anywhere between 5 and 10 best of jazz lists from all different types of publications because I didn't want to drive him crazy, right? And so I was like, here, look at these. I'm sure this will give you a nice portfolio of titles to choose from.
Sure. And
he sent me a list of 10. And I want to say I'm kind of like maybe of 100 actually. And I'm halfway through it, maybe a little bit more. Actually, Billie Holiday was one of the titles, but I've noticed that as I start with one artist, then other titles come out, or I stumble across other titles, say of John Coltrane, and I veer off the list.
Yes.
Right?
It's hard to stay disciplined to the. Oh my gosh, that is. I didn't make a list, but I just had in my mind these are the titles I need to pick up, and it's exactly what you said. Then you start branching off into other areas,
because
and
you discover what you like slowly. Yeah, I think that's on the list too.
That is fantastic.
This Dizzy collection I'm going through for this older gentleman, and Rachel likes to tease me that I have this older gentleman friend now, which is whatever. That's fine. But this was in it. He has a sealed MoFi of this. I haven't opened it yet. I think this is one I want to keep for my collection because I used to have this record. I have CDs of all her stuff. To me, every collection needs to have Billie Holiday. But this is God, I don't even know what year this came out. This is probably 20 years old. Oh no, this is more because this guy hasn't bought a record since 1995, and he's had this collection, and he has like things like this sealed. So 30 years almost record. So obviously as analog as it can be back then, I assume, but still, I mean, you got a Billie Holiday in your collection.
Scott, didn't you do a video on that?
I did.
On a body. Yeah. So I forgot what version you did.
The George Marino 2x45, but I had that one too.
How was it?
It's great. This one's great, but the 45 is a little better, but
it's because it's 45, and if you're not into the 45 comparison, you don't. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but you'll be totally happy with that one. And
plus these recordings aren't like, they're 1950s and 40s and stuff. 50s.
Sure.
Yeah, but for a mono recording from that era, it's pretty special.
All right,
I'm going to get a hat like this soon. So
you don't have one? Come on, join the club.
I have many hats, but not that one. So.
Scott, we got a pointed question I have to ask you from Loki here. Are you still traumatized from that long Rachel experience?
No, she was very gentle with me. It went well. Yeah.
Well, sometimes
it was a lot of fun.
Rachel sometimes is not the problem.
Well,
right.
You could be traumatized by the people in the peanut gallery.
I'm actually really pissed at Melinda Murphy because she went to sort of my neck of the woods, my old neck, stomping grounds. And by the time I reached out to her, she goes, "Oh, I already went." I said, I probably would have gotten in my car, drove 12 hours to meet her and her husband to have a cocktail with. You know, because when's the next time I'm going to go to Kentucky? Probably never.
Never.
And
Wow, that's a hot take.
no
We have
offense
against
to Kentucky. No offense, Melinda, but I get this chance, and excuse me, chance, but chance.
I get it all the time. All good.
And no, we already went. We hiked. We went to West wine tasting. We spent like 14 hours or 26 hours in a mastering facility, and we're home now in Kentucky. But did Maslov know? No.
Oh, no.
Man.
Hey, Mike is a great resource, Notes and Tones. If anyone is interested in jazz, like he is a beyond valuable resource. The limited times that I've encountered him on the Jazz Bum streams and where else he pops up. But take notes if you're interested in getting into more jazz. This is probably a great resource.
Yeah, 1001 is probably a little daunting for me to start with.
Yeah.
Money is no object. Come on, make it rain, boys. Make it rain.
My videos just like tiptoeing into it. It's really easy to get into stuff, you know. Some of the obvious ones, but also some others that are not so
I've
obvious.
kind of already acquired a taste now that I've only I don't know, maybe I have like a little over maybe 200 jazz albums by now, or anywhere between 100 and 200.
Yeah.
I've already acquired a certain taste. I can take only so much of free jazz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Same.
If you put on that Pharoah Sanders,
no, actually, I really enjoy Pharoah Sanders.
really,
like,
okay, because that one kind of it was cool in limited doses. The one that Chad just reissued. That
Karma.
Yeah.
But for example, I didn't think I was going to like it. The Yusef Lateef that came out, what is it called? The Three Faces?
Three Faces, I think.
On Vinyl Me Please. Actually, that was really good. I really enjoyed that. I didn't know nothing about him. And for me, it's like I've been now, as MoFi has been repressing all the miles, I've been trying to get them all.
Yeah, those are great.
They're so good.
But for me, it's like I find that maybe this is just from my limited knowledge of jazz. He's a step above everyone, and I don't know what it is. Like, technically, I can't tell you if it's the people he chooses to play with.
That's a lot of it.
It's the arrangements. It's the
Yeah.
choices of the songs. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but there is not one Miles Davis album that I did not like that I've purchased so far. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you guys that know more about jazz than me can tell me what exactly it is that resonates with people regarding, about Miles Davis's music.
Hey, before we get on that point, I just want to acknowledge Melinda has referenced potentially killing someone to get to meet Mazzy. So I want to take no credit for any of this.
Melinda,
I have nothing to do with this. I am simply live streaming on my channel. So
Melinda, it is 12 hours, but I have a Volkswagen GTI, which means I can get there in 6.
Oh, rocket ship! This is the Rocket Man right here.
If I had a little, and I have contacts along the way. If I had a few days notice, I'm flexible with my time. I work for myself, so that's okay. I'm going to give you the Catholic Jewish guilt thing, but you don't call, you don't write. I'm sitting alone here in the dark. By the way, daylight savings time, at least in some states, starts tonight overnight. So
that's right.
Yeah.
So on that list, Arnaldo, how many of your 100 would you say you've crossed off successfully?
Let's see. Give me a second. I'll pull it up. Actually,
finance guy has a spreadsheet. I knew it.
Of course, I have to have a spreadsheet.
Now, is it a Power BI spreadsheet though?
Actually, he sent it to me in a text, which was a Word format.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this is not going to do it. I need to put this in Excel.
Attaboy.
It's okay.
You guys talk about other stuff while I pull up the jazz list.
So, Scott, what's going on in Miami? I know. Oh gosh. The big man was down there for that Gino concert.
Ron DeSantis?
Matt,
yeah. Did you and Matt connect while he was down there?
We weren't able to because of my work schedule, but we were in touch while he was here.
Okay, yeah. I know he was trying to connect with you, but I think he was only down there a limited time too. So I was curious if you guys had connected.
No, I would have enjoyed to go see the concert though.
Yeah, I don't know if you've watched a lot of his channel or the live stream I did with him. He is very passionate about certain pieces of music. Jocko is like his guy. Like Jocko loves Jocko. Like love isn't even the word, but he is so moved by Jocko that it's touching, really, because like I don't know if you guys had saw that live stream I did with him. I mean, my man was crying about it. Like he was so moved by this guy's music, and so I know he did like a complete rundown of his discography, and so he's definitely a very passionate and some of the stuff, some of the stuff is like everybody listens to this, that, or the other, but some of the stuff he features is really things I'm not familiar with, and it makes me kind of want to check into those. All right, Arnaldo.
Can I open a MoFi on your stream?
Break the internet right now. Let's do it.
Break it up.
I'm going to open a 30-year-old MoFi.
Hang on a second. Can we text Rob? I don't want to break any copyright laws because
I'm hoping that I know you reached out to me early on, but I haven't even been invited to be on this new podcast thing. So
no, hang on. I was going to talk. I'm going to physically see you in less than a week or two.
I'm alone in the dark here. You and Melinda can go hang out.
This is revisionist history, Maslow, and I tell you why. You were one of the first people I sent an email to asking, would you have interest? And I kind of got a little bit of a but let me see kind of deal. So I was going to give you the sweet sell when I see you in person in a little bit.
On the first date, you just got to like play it out. You got to sniff around a little bit. You don't put out on the first date.
I'm not going to do any sniffing around. I want to be very clear. There's no sniffing around going on when I go to Seattle. Anyway, Arnaldo, tell me.
Okay, look at this, and it's probably warped right now.
Did you keep the receipt? You can probably get in that lawsuit.
I got this free. Well, I'm getting this free from this guy's collection.
200 gram and a disc.
This is sweet. Probably pressed in Japan? Probably.
No,
they didn't press these in Japan. I thought they did.
This is like the second phase, the anodisc phase. They didn't do those.
Oh, right. Okay. Where were these pressed? I don't even know.
I don't know.
See, guys know more about this kind of shit than I do. I was lectured today that I need to do a thing and stop saying it's the music stupid. I should say it's the music, and that's nicer. But they missed the point.
Mercy. Cobra Kai that shit, man. I love it. That's a great brand.
People forget the James Carville thing.
Right.
In the 90s,
it's the economy stupid.
Yes. It's the economy stupid.
Right.
So that's what the whole shtick is. So, wow, this is beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll listen to this tomorrow morning. This would be Sunday morning music.
Remember your mono switch.
I don't have a mono switch.
Oh.
And I don't have a mono cartridge.
Okay. Well,
I'm
it'll
a
still play fine.
Young Jewish man.
It'll still sound great.
Yeah.
All right, Introvert Row, Arnaldo. What's
I'm sorting. Give me a second.
Are you sorting alphabetically? Are you sorting?
No, I color code them.
Oh my gosh.
So I gotta select all the green ones.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, that's what you get when when you're a finance guy.
I totally get it. I love the organized finance people. When I work with unorganized finance people, it kills my soul.
So unfortunately, I'm at 37. There you go.
Okay, so 37%. Look at that. I'm good at math.
There's
37 titles.
And it's the ones that it's not they're difficult to find. I just want the right pressing. So for example, I haven't gotten the Cone Concert by Keith Jarrett, right? And that's probably a relatively easy record to find, right?
An American one. German would be nice, but
I'd rather get exactly. I've been holding out for the German.
Original American's fine. They're good.
Yeah, and then Languidity by Sun Ra. That's on my list too.
I don't know that.
Wow.
And like there was a there was an RSD version that came out like 2 years ago.
I have to see what the cover looks like.
It's all shiny. It's the shiny one, Languidity.
The shiny one. I mean, that's like 100 of his records.
It's a great cover, with kind of like a drawing of him, and it says like Sun Ra. What's the title of the record?
It's called Languidity.
Languidity, yeah.
At the top. That thing's expensive. Like that's not a cheap record.
But they did a box set version a few years ago for a record store day, and I missed out on that one. I'm missing out on a good version of Birth of Cool. So
Gil Evans.
no, Birth.
Oh,
No,
Miles.
Miles,
Right?
Birth of the Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you guys recommend a good pressing of that?
I don't know.
Of which record?
Birth of the Cool.
You know,
Uh,
surprisingly, one of them that's good is that one with the shit ass illustrated cover of Capitol.
Oh, not the photograph, not the black and
No,
white.
I like the photograph better, but surprisingly, some of those other ones. I mean, it's funny. They reissued that one about 4 or 5 years ago with the extra tracks and stuff,
Right.
and I got it and I enjoyed it. And basically, I remember Fremer saying it's unlistenable, it's horrible. And I actually at the time did a reaction video because I thought he was off the wall personally. But
Huh.
you know, it's not a great. Is
I've
this
never
the record
heard
you're
it on
talking about?
vinyl.
Is this what you're talking
That's
about?
the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, I've never seen it.
So Jason, what does that ballpark go for? You made the you show me the money sign. I mean, is it
Do you have it?
Is it in
Do
the
you have
high
it?
hundreds or what
My
is that?
friends have it. No, I never bought it. Like I could have bought it for $10, 20 years ago, but now it's going for, I believe that thing's going for $500 or something.
Mm.
So is it? Do you think it's one of his most representative and iconic releases?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say what is that? The Space is the Place, that double. I think, or is it a single where you fold it up? I think that's on Blue Thumb. That one's way better. Like,
I mean, I got the recent Craft one, and I love that. But
okay,
that's
well,
the only Sun Ra record that I have.
that one's a bit earlier, so that one's more jazz, But I think like Space is the Place is a good one. There's another one that I forget. It starts with the Magic. Now, let me look it up for you. But, I wanted to get that Egypt thing.
Oh, and also the Heliocentric Worlds of Sun Ra, Volume
That's a
1.
good one. Yeah, I used to have that. Sold that for a lot of money.
Those were the two that were on my friend's list.
Those are good.
Up at New York way, is it easy or hard to find some of this jazz stuff? And I'm not talking about just OGs, but just in general. Like, is it? I would imagine in the city it's probably different than say if you went out like to the county or if you went upstate to say Albany or something like that.
Well, I mean, I come across these titles often.
Okay.
It's just that because I could tell the Wax Time and the Doll, I'm not getting those. But when I come across a later pressing of the 70s, or since I'm not very familiar with all the different jazz pressings, I'm like, I don't feel like just buying any copy out there, because then I take it home and then I'm not happy with it. Like I did buy it was a 6i Timeout Dave Brubeck,
Sure.
which looked pretty good, and I brought it home. Yeah, it sounds really good. It still has surface noise, but I put it through the ultrasonic and it improved. Actually, I've noticed the most improvement is on the older records, older used records.
Agreed.
Than like the more recent ones that are still used, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also do a wet clean before typically, so I really don't have records that are really, really dirty. But I did notice improvement on maybe the really older ones, unless they have like the groove wear that's caused by probably a bad needle or whatever. I did notice improvement mostly on older records.
Which machine are you using?
The one everyone's using. The
Oh,
Humming
the Sonic.
Guru.
Oh well,
Humming Guru. Okay. Yeah.
Au contraire, for hold please, hold please.
I've been researching that one. So, how do you like it?
I like it. Probably Mazzy has more mileage on it than I do, but I like it so far. You got okay.
Not everyone's using Humming Guru. I'm
You
kind
got
of
the pricier one.
That's right. All my tax refund went to one thing.
I was talking with a guy last night that he started with the audio desk, and he said he went through like 4 or 5 failures with it.
That's my friend, the Dr. Bob has had 3 of them. You get like a credit of $1,500 toward buying another one, and he's gonna I think dump them and buy 2 or 3 Humming Gurus.
Yeah, you could do that.
But I don't know how the longevity. I mean, I've done maybe now 200 records, and it's been no issues. It's been easy. I stopped using the surfactant, except for a couple of times I used it on something that was extra dirty, but I feel I don't really need it most of the time.
So do
But
you?
I don't mind using it. I'm not like scared shitless using it.
So what's your call to action to then bring in the bullpen, bring in that surfactant? Is it you'll clean it once and it doesn't sound like you got it all?
Something that looks really gnarly, and I haven't. See, I'm also cleaning for this Dizzy collection, so some of them are for sale, not for me. So I don't listen to every record I clean,
sure.
But I'm spot listening certain things because I agree with Aldo about a lot of the like 6 eyes and 2 eyes that might look shitty actually sound great.
Champs.
You know, the vinyl, better than 70s or 80s pressings.
Yeah, I found that too.
Yeah, and some of those look clean, and then there's all the surface noise. It just depends, obviously. But like, got some Simon and Garfunkel records, some Miles Davis records, and I cleaned them up. And yeah, so.
Elliot, I'm sorry because I think I miscalled the daylight savings, saying we're actually losing an hour, and I think I fault fake news. I thought we were gaining an hour.
Elliot, when you're old like you and me, and you're retired, doesn't give a fuck. You just wake up when you wake up.
When the roosters come up, they come up about the same time.
Yeah. And the problem is, unlike these young kids, we all have iPhones or whatever phones. We have actually clocks that I have to fucking like literally move and change, plus our microwave. Because now it doesn't really matter. Your phone is automatic when you wake up, so you don't give a shit.
This is true. This is true. Good stuff. Scott, what have you been listening to lately? That's kind of that was kind of the impetus behind our little, jump on here. What's been playing on I know you said you're having some issues with your system, but outside of that, have you been spinning anything?
I've been trying to go back through the jazz that I've been collecting over the last couple of years. It came in so fast that I work full time. I'm not retired, so
I'm not retired
a lot of
either,
them I've only given one listen to.
He's not retired, but he plays one on YouTube.
I'm self-employed, so that is like being retired.
Well, Scott, weren't you trying to pare down your collection? I feel like you were trying to make a conscientious reduction in your collection at one point.
Yeah, but not the good stuff.
I
have this other storage area that's full of stuff I picked up from thrift shops and stuff. That stuff's got to go,
Well, you're actually sending it. Are you sending it back to the thrift stores, or are you just donating, or are you trying to move it somehow?
As far as I've gotten is separating what could go, and it's still sitting there.
We're gonna have to have a professional hoarding crew come in, like Ty Pennington or one of these people, and help.
I don't know. I was thinking of doing some kind of giveaway. I don't know.
Look at that.
Maybe
or you could put them in Jason's storage in Ohio.
Yeah, Jason, what was that address? Because you just named 2 great titles. Is that in Columbus? Because I think we're gonna. I think Grant, doesn't Grant live in Columbus? I think he can probably help you with that.
Yeah, he'd love to go up there.
Is it for you, knowing that you have some? I'm gonna put words in your mouth. Some probably choice titles. Some probably ching ching bada bing titles. Is it stressful having them literally a state, 2-3 states away, or?
Well, every time I visit, I go bring some back, but then I have to decide because I don't want to fill up my whole luggage with records, and that's just nerve wracking.
Is it flying or driving?
What?
Flying or driving?
I have to fly there.
Oh.
But I'm thinking about I think this summer, to just move them all from Ohio to Minneapolis, and have the collection reunite, with each other,
You gonna play that Herbs and Peaches on Reunited and to make a video?
Sure. I mean, that's when somebody asked me to do I think I sent Jose a video of me in my storage space just pulling out records, and somebody was just like, "Do you have this?" I'm like, "Oh, you mean this, right?" And they were just freaking out. And then I have I also have a DJ set up in in my Columbus storage space, so you just party,
So what Patreon level do I need to be on to see some of this content? I mean, this is some good stuff.
No.
So yeah, I have I grew up in Italy, and I had a smaller collection. that I left back home, and every trip I was bringing back stuff because I would go either every other year or now a little bit more often every year. And this Christmas, I finally brought back my BC-13.
Beatles?
So
Beatles
yeah,
box.
yeah,
Yeah.
and which I've had since like the late 80s. I think 87 I bought it. And yeah, it's pretty heavy to bring back. Just one that's like so I feel for you, Jason. Every time it's like, especially now with like the weight limitations, especially when you're flying international, they will ding you. I mean, one time they dinged me and I was like, are you kidding?
You guys are brave. Like I would be sweating bullets. Are you talking about putting in your checked bags?
No, the BC-13, I had it in my carry-on.
Okay. Because I mean, I'm sure you've looked out the window sitting on the tarmac and watch how those boys don't care. They're just
No. I put that one in my carry-on. Yeah.
Here he is. What's up, John? How you doing, pal? Let's see if we can get you on here.
This is also a good recent album. This is the recent Yola Tango. If you like Yola Tango, very good record.
Chance, you know how to make people big?
I do. Yeah. Hang on a second. Hold,
really matter.
hold please. Hold, please.
Just listen to Yola Tango and go check. It's dark. It's hard to see on here anyway, but
hang on.
I love this band, and I think they're always interesting. So it's gone now, so forget it.
There you
Hi.
go.
Hey.
My name's Norman Maslov. I'm a Virgo. I'm 5'11", 185 pounds.
What do you think about making the first move, Mazzy? You were talking about that earlier.
I like to, I'm easygoing. I'm loyal.
Okay.
I like have a cocktail with someone. I have a certain smirk and a sense of humor.
Uh-huh.
Like you'll tell me that your mother died and I'll crack up. But
oh my gosh,
it's not real. I really care and everything. So please call me.
Well, remember in the 80s? Oh, I'm messing all the views up. There we go. Remember in the 80s, they used to have those videos, those like dating videos?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, no way. Come on.
I've never done a dating online thing. I meet organically.
Hang on a second.
I know about them, but of course I do.
Come on. You guys haven't heard of this? I mean, this is some of the best.
In the 80s, I don't remember them. I'm sure they're around the 80s, but I was in a relationship, so I don't remember.
Oh my gosh. Hang on. This is a call to action if I've ever heard of one. Dating videos, 80s. Because these things were so schmarmy. I mean, it's oh my gosh. Here we go. Let's see. Hang on, fellas. I'm getting it going.
I'm 25% Jewish. I was born in San Francisco on Stanton Street. Remember, have you ever heard of Rod McEwen, Stanton Street and Other Sorrows? That's where I was born. I'm 2 blocks from the Jefferson Airplane Mansion.
All right. Your mind's about to be blown. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Can you hear that?
No. Oh, yeah.
Thought I told you never to call me here.
Some of the things I love are photography, travel, skiing. This is a very exciting time from my life.
These guys are part of the VC, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I don't know, the type of girl that I'm looking for is one that's really attractive to me.
I like an attractive woman, someone who might look like Christy Brinkley or Jacqueline Smith.
I have a very strong sense of humor.
Is that Jeffrey Dahmer?
Everyone thinks they've got one, but my friends do agree that I do.
Might not appear it, but semi-crazy.
These guys all like porn stars.
Mathematician, I guess. Walking down the street or just going out for, let me take pictures of her with my camera.
And somebody that maybe even gets rough once in a while, you know? And
I'm a ham. I've been on Jeopardy. I decided that I'm lonely, but I'd love to go roller skating.
Are you a little crazy?
Extremely high verbal skills.
Co-ed bubble bath sounds like a real fun idea I want to try out.
Oh, God.
I'm... And whoever's ever with me has to like to do it too, or they're going to go nuts because I'll drive you nuts.
I seek a person who is childlike.
somebody that'll embarrass you by ordering too much food, or somebody like
that. It's all in the editing chance. So
I know, but
I'm particularly attracted to black women and women of different races. So if you like me, give me a call.
Basically, that's what I'm looking for. Thank you.
And I'm hung like a Hebrew national.
Oh, guys.
Check out the FFF Volume 4 DVD.
Guys, I'm telling you, it is. I have to stop sharing it. Yeah, that was a YouTube deep dive that I stumbled into one time, and I think I lost like 7 hours of sleep because it's just different time, different place. But I mean, good for them for at least trying to get out there and meet people.
Hey,
that
people!
way.
I mean internet dating is the biggest thing in the world. I have friends that they're together forever. I've also heard some bad stories too. So,
but I guess my understanding of that premise was this was a VHS tape.
Yeah.
That you could send away for, and so you would get a VHS tape of these full profiles of some of the fun folks, and then you could contact them somehow. I mean, it's I guess you have to walk before you run, and I guess
don't
this
know.
was the precursor to online dating.
I never use those, so I don't know.
Oh, that's too crazy.
I got a cool record to show you.
Please.
From my I rescued this from my vault.
Oh,
with all those thrift store records, but it's pretty cool.
Oh wow! Okay.
I Want to Live soundtrack. Johnny Mandel's great.
This
jazz.
is where you make them big. Chance. This is.
Oh my gosh! I mean, what is happening
You
here?
click on the dots there, 3 dots.
Yeah.
And full screen.
Oh, hang on. I have to click them right here. Sorry, Scott. I'm so bad at this. Hang on.
Okay. There you go. Susan Hayward was in this movie. She was like a party girl, and she went bad. She kind of got electrocuted at the end.
What?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert! Come on, Scott. Come on now. Come on.
Well, no, actually, it was a gas chamber. Gas chamber. Gas chamber unveiling, nightmare sequence. It's West Coast jazz kind of.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I got something you boys are gonna like.
So it's a feel-good story, is what you're saying, Scott.
Yeah, it's filmed in gritty black and white.
Right.
And it's on the United Artists label. Johnny Mandel. I don't know.
And how does it sound?
Shelly Mann's on it.
How does it sound,
Jack
Scott?
Sheldon, Frank Rossellino.
Eddie is giving it a recommendation. I don't know what his grading scale is, but he says great movie.
Okay, can you expand I don't want to say make me big because that's kind of.
Listen, I'm already one step ahead of you. Hang on a second. Boom. What's up?
This to me is a gorgeous cover. Coming in hot, as they say.
Oh, Debbie Reynolds. What's up, girl?
I mean, look at that. This is a pristine. I got this from the Dizzy collection. I want to listen to it.
I've never seen that.
I've never seen it either till this morning. I met my benefactor and he says, "What about this? Will this sell?" I said, "Probably not, but I want it." Look, and it's perfect.
Great condition.
That's nice,
right?
Yeah.
Creepy. I think it's great.
Is there any electrocutions or gas chambers in that costume?
Speaking of your auctions, Mazzy, did you? I was on and off last week because I was running errands as well. Did the Tutu by Miles Davis sell?
Both of them. There's 2.
Oh,
copies.
you put it up. I must have logged off temporarily.
Yeah, they both sold.
Hey, you know what's a cool record by Miles Davis? It's a soundtrack called Siesta. You know about it?
I fall asleep every time I hear it.
I don't.
Oh, that's a David Bianco joke. Look at.
I don't. Oh, it's not the movie, is it? No,
it's a movie. It's a soundtrack with Marcus Miller.
Oh,
wait, is that the one with Ellen Barkin?
I haven't seen the movie. I only have the soundtrack. Let me. I think I have it right here.
There's a movie that I'm dying to get on video. I don't know if it's
Am I doing this right?
Nope.
I know.
There's an Ellen Barkin movie. You know Ellen Barkin?
Yeah, the actress. Yeah, the blonde. Yeah.
The premise of the movie, and Matt Maheron's photographs are used in it. She's a paratrooper, and she falls out of a plane. Her parachute doesn't open. And I'm going to spoil the whole fucking movie for you, but I think the whole time she's dead.
Oh, I remember that cover. Now I remember the cover. Yes, I remember the cover. That was a soundtrack?
Who's in that movie? What does it say?
It's all about. It doesn't say the actors. It's
okay. So you're
teasing us. Yeah.
This is a soft tease, I think, is what they call this in the business.
I love it.
And how did you get wind of this? I mean, was it just something you found in a bin, or without knowing the background of the movie?
No, I just picked it up. I don't know why. It was brand new when I got it, but I was just attracted because it was Miles Davis.
Sure.
And
okay, so this is the movie I'm thinking of. Okay, and it's got that Irish actor?
Oh, that's something else, I think.
Gabriel Byrne.
Gabriel Byrne,
right. This is a sexy fucking movie and great movie.
It could be the same movie.
Well, let's look and see. Does it say like movie? Yes. Composed by Marcus Miller.
Right.
Wow. I love this movie. Oh God. I didn't know. I saw it when it came out, so it was in the 80s.
Yeah.
I never saw a soundtrack for it.
Beautiful, moody kind of music. I loved it.
So it's got to be late 80s, early 90s. Am I in the ballpark?
Yeah.
Yeah, early 90s, I think.
Hang on. I need to see that again. Can you show that again, Mazzy? Please. Let's. What? Hang on. What? Hang on. Whoa. No, I can't make that one big.
It's like, oh, it's such an amazing film. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be as good now. I remember loving it when it came out. It's kind of a cult film, but I don't know if it'll hold up, 30 plus years after.
Yeah, Christopher says it's not on Blu-ray, so you'll have to go DVD on this one.
I don't care about DVD. I mean,
John
there's some DVDs that I think look better than Blu-rays because sometimes Blu-rays show too much depending how it's transferred.
Well, especially Blu-ray players can up convert too on DVD.
Well, I have an Oppo and it up converts. So
there's a couple of notable people on here too: John Schofield and Earl Klugh.
Yeah, it's wow. Okay, I'm going to seek out that soundtrack then.
Yeah.
One more time, Scott. Let's take a look at it. Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay.
I didn't know Miles Davis did it. I just never thought about it. He's probably like on a couple cuts. I bet you.
Good stuff.
It holds up apart from the movie, I think. I didn't see the movie, but I mean it holds up as its own statement.
Yeah, I don't know if the movie's going to hold up because I remember it was a really kind of surreal film.
Right.
And Matt Mahern is this photographer who he wouldn't do commercial work except he did the cover of the Tracy Chapman's first album, that kind of
the brown, yeah.
And he directed Enter Sandman for Metallica and Fast Car, and he did Mercy Street, Peter Gabriel. He was a huge MTV director, but he would never do advertising work. But a really great photographer, very kind of artsy, like illustration / his stuff would be great to get and to collect.
David, were your ears burning because Mazzy was doing a David Bianco joke impression?
I heard you say that's just...
I did a who?
It was like Anchorman, news team assemble, and David just ran to get those headphones on. Yep.
Hi, David.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So,
did you get the UHQR Debbie Reynolds yet?
Yeah, the box is lovely on Debbie.
It comes in the big. It comes actually in the big Wilco box. It's bigger than UHQR.
Wow.
Chad sent it to me in a bigger box. He said, "Mazzy, I'm going to double the size for you."
That's it. Wow.
At
our age, doubling the size is always a good idea. Whoa.
Hello.
You are correct, sir.
Yes. So David, we were just kind of did this impromptu live stream, just literally just bullshitting and showing records and stuff. What have you been listening to lately? I know you just got back from out of town, and so I know I jumped on your stream earlier this week. You were showing some records. What have you actually been listening to since you've been back in the States?
Actually, I did my Bill Withers comparison, so I've got that album kind of stuck in my brain right now.
Remind me, was it the greatest hits?
It was the greatest hits, yeah.
David, can I ask a question about that greatest hits?
Yeah.
So I just returned it to Music Direct because side 2 I was noticing distortion on at least 2 songs, on "Lean on Me" and "Grandma's Hands."
Those are that is not distortion. It's in the OG as well.
It is.
It absolutely is.
I didn't
Like,
notice it.
It's on his voice, like when
Well,
he hits a peak.
And there's also a couple of tape dropouts, I'll call it, at like 58 seconds, 136, and 153 in "Lean on Me."
You know, I'm convinced you listeners are listening too close for problems. No, because
yeah, you're probably true.
No, from this guy's collection, he had a copy of the original Columbia.
That's what I've got. Yeah.
And I cleaned it in the Ultra, and I played it. I thought it was almost equal to the MoFi.
It sounds good. It sounds good. Yeah, it does.
And I ended up selling it, but I don't remember hearing. I don't remember hearing any distortion. Yeah. So I didn't listen.
Well, I didn't. I don't call it. For me, it wasn't what I would call distortion. For me, it was there was a little bit what I felt of a dropout, that when it came back in, it sounded distorted because after. So
to
that
me,
was
it
my
sounded like
impression.
His vocals saturated or clipping.
Yeah, Mom knows treasures. I believe people are too. People seem to be. It's kind of like when they did the what do you call it? The Warblegate thing on Tone Poet's Hill album, Black Fire. If you don't listen, if you listen for it, you're always going to hear it, and then you can't unhear it.
Yeah.
But people listening for problems. I know you didn't do it in this case, David, but
no.
I played those 2 records back to back, and I didn't hear anything abnormal.
Okay. Well, like I said, I compare, and I will be frank with you. I didn't hear the thing at first. Somebody put in the comments, and then when I heard it, So I'm
that's
right
the
with
problem.
you.
Yeah.
I can tell you, because I told them I didn't hear it, but to be honest, playing it on headphones, I caught it much better, easier than I would listening through speakers.
Yeah,
people are wankers.
hang on. We got another way to say that. People are too picky. I think.
This Speaking of picky, anyway.
Mother knows best.
Mother knows best. Yeah,
that's too funny. Hey, you live stream pros, how do you give a wrench? This is something I'm trying to figure out on the fly.
I don't do that.
Oh, for Pete's sake. We had something to share with the people. Sorry, Jason. I know I'm disappointing you tonight. I'm sorry. This is not good. Actually,
I think you have to pay for. I think you have to have the
Oh yeah, sorry. This is the poor
freebie
man version of live stream. I apologize.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's true.
That's probably accurate. Okay, that makes sense. So what I'll do, Jason, a long time ago, Jason, we were talking about this Los Psychos. Am I pronouncing that right? Documentary through Vice. So I'm going to put that in the chat, so I guess people can get it that way. So
this one,
yes, back to that. Yeah. See, we're coming full circle. The count. There we go. All right.
Okay.
So there's the link.
Los Psychos. Okay.
It's kind of Peruvian. Remember the band Los Bravos?
I was just going to say Black is Black.
It's
I Want My Baby
in
Back.
that vein, that around that time, garage band, but Peruvian. Never made it here, but like it's kind of a cult thing.
I saw that album Los Bravos in Spain, and it was in really bad shape. Otherwise, I'd have bought it.
I think I have a Canadian copy or something. Yeah.
Do they say A at the end of each of the syllables or no?
They do not. But
Black is Black, A.
They do not. They do not.
Okay. And I found that German Horzu of Magical Mystery Tour, which I have a copy, and I found it for $26, 24 euro.
In the UK?
In Spain, ironically. And guess what?
Spain?
I went to Spain. I went to Madrid and Alicante.
Nice.
Yeah, and so I found it. And
here we go.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, I have the Apple one, but it's the same. It's the same matrix.
I have both those.
Right. Yeah, I do too. Mine is. I've got one of those, and now this one says Horzu up there, but the label on side A is Yellow Submarine, the UK version.
David, where did you go in Madrid? What stores did you go to? I was just there last year, and
grab the bag.
There were 2 stores that were really good. I found some really cool stuff. One I think was called La Mitrailleta, and I forgot the other one what it was called.
Discotequia. That's not funny.
Hey, I think
I don't think that's it, John.
Disco Ziggy was the one I found the Beatles at.
That was in Madrid.
Did they have any David Bowie there?
Get ready.
Yes,
Get big.
that's where I went. That's where I
Get
found some
big.
good stuff.
Get big with a weapon. Oh man, they got assault rifles on the bag. That's pretty intense. So if you don't pay, do they pull out the the Glock 9mm and capture
Oh,
David? Is that what's
God.
going on? Oh, did he mute himself? What happened?
I don't know. Yeah.
I can't unmute you. That's you, David.
Is this
Oh, this is a mega flex. Hang on, we're just gonna have a flex off. All right, Jason, I'm moving you down.
Jason, where's yours?
No, I don't have that. No.
All right,
Is this
boys,
as
show
good
them
as
all
the
at the same
Horzu?
time.
Is the apple as good as the Horzu?
It's the same. It should be the same. If
The same, right?
Check the just check the run out matrix.
Sounds great. Side 2 sounds wonderful.
It's because it's all stereo for the first time,
Right.
and those tracks are great in stereo. I think.
Don't worry, Chance. We'll get our copy one day.
What am I looking
One
for?
of these days. That's one I can wait for. I'll be honest. I'm sure it's great, but that's one I'll wait. Like you said, Jason, it'll come to you when the time is right and when you're ready.
It says
Hey.
B3.
Matt, we were just talking about you. I asked Scott if you guys were able to connect. I'm glad you could pop on here. There's a you see there he is, Scott. Remember Matt we were talking about earlier?
Oh yeah. Hey Matt. Yeah.
All right, David, your mic. You got to check your sound though. I can't. It's something on your end. Come back, baby. Come back.
Yeah, the mic is crossed out on your end, David.
There we go.
Yes. All right. Flex them. Everybody, show them at once. Come on, Ronaldo. Pull yours out. Look at this. Look at that. Wow. This is live stream bingo. Bam. Top row. What's up? So where is this, Maz?
This is on 24th Street in the Mission in San Francisco.
Got it.
Unfortunately, the store is no longer there, but I hope they kept the sign because I always wanted. This building was for sale a number of years ago. I always wanted to buy it. Look at that.
Those vintage signs are.
It was a Latin record store in the Mission District of San Francisco, like about 6 blocks from my house.
That's awesome.
Isn't that great?
Great.
Discolandia. I bought a copy of ABBA Oro there when it came out. Remember ABBA singing in Spanish? Like in the late 70s, early 80s or something.
I missed that.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, no, seriously. I mean, they phonetically learned in Spanish. It's their greatest hits in Spanish.
Wow.
Gracias por la música. Da, 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 da. It's so good. You can get it on CD, it's or vinyl, but it's so good.
I don't know if we're out of turn. Who is next on showing what's spinning the gamut here? Are we all tapped out of what we've been listening to? Because I got a fun one. You guys are ready for it. And I have a feeling I'm probably the only one who knows what this is.
Probably.
Are you guys familiar with the legend that is Wheeler Walker Jr.? Mazzy, this has got to be a personal favorite.
I saw that.
You showed that.
You showed it to me.
This is a classic.
Look at the title of the songs and the.
Oh yeah, hang on. I gotta make myself big. Don't
Make
I?
yourself big.
Hold, please. Here we go. Alrighty. I mean, this is everything that you're looking for. This is
what?
He seems a little bit like Kinky Friedman and his Texas Jew Boys.
Yeah, well, all I can tell you is that this was a lot of fun to listen to, only because it's so ridiculous. But actually, the music is not terrible. Yeah, that's the other thing. A lot of these guys who do these kind of stunt, albums, it's actually pretty decent. And Billy Hurst at Riverbend I talked to him about it, and so it was like a $13 record. I had some credit at Amazon, and I just said, what the hell? And it is hilarious. Yeah, see, Christopher knows what's up. That's right.
Thank you.
So anytime I get some more of these trolls trying to mess with me, I've got that one like right in the holster. I'm just gonna whip that because I guess Fred Dobbs came at me this week when I popped on Rachel's thing, and I had never had any issues.
Do you have any Kinky Friedman?
Oh, I don't have any kinky.
You need to get the
freaking-
one on Vanguard, the first one. Put your biscuits in the oven and your buns in the bed. Women's liberation is going to your head. High on Jesus. They ain't making Jews like Jesus anymore.
Wow.
There's a song, Charles Whitman. There was a rumor about a tumor. He's the guy that shot from the Austin Tower. All the students.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah, that's a great.
Something's wrong with the beaver about Leave It to Beaver. Ward, there's something wrong. Something's wrong with the beaver.
Okay, so this guy, there's a lineage for this kind of shtick or this kind of act.
Yeah, but Kinky Friedman actually ran for governor of Texas.
That's
once.
right.
Yeah.
He did.
Oh, David voted for him. Is that what you're saying, David? Did
He's
you vote
written
for him?
he has about 4 or 5 very successful mystery books too.
Yeah, he was in. Yeah, he didn't get out of the primary, I don't think, but
no, but still, I mean,
it was entertaining.
So, David, this
so
one speaks
funny.
to you because you and I connected on this. It looks like Matt found the record store day. Is this the one that
Yes.
you got?
Yep, exactly.
And you've been speaking its praises multiple
Yep.
times. I've heard you say.
Yep. Yeah, this was the one that's color vinyl, and Harry didn't realize it the other night.
Oh,
We were
yeah.
on it.
Oh,
There you
look at,
go.
oh
There you go.
man, hang on. We're gonna make you big.
But does anybody ever listen to all those records?
I love that album.
No, it's only the regular album. It's just spread across
45.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And I have also the regular 2.
Yeah, I do too. I've got a couple of those.
I got the original of that.
I do
That's
too.
Well, yes, of course you have to trump us, Madsen.
I have 2 of the
You're gonna
originals.
pull out
so-
your original?
Don't say that name.
Oh.
Small T, small T.
Oh my god, I'm not familiar. John Benjamin is I don't know if this is this a joke, Christopher? I'm not familiar with John
I
Benjamin.
don't know
Is-
John Benjamin either.
I don't either.
Not familiar.
Not either.
Interesting.
Here's a soundtrack I've been trying to get for a long time. I finally got.
Oh yeah, there you go. Hang on, boom.
Boom. This is an OG of that.
Did you?
Pretty
Was that
Pretty
overseas?
in Pink.
Was that overseas, or did you find it locally?
No. A friend of mine got it. Armando got it for me from.
Tio
Mio.
Records. Yeah,
Mio, Vintage Mio.
That's right. Yeah,
He
great
got me
guy.
that one, and he got me the Wilson Phillips.
Oh yeah,
So-
that's getting pricier too. I saw that at a record show recently. It's who would have thought?
Really?
Yeah.
It's like a $30 or $40 record now. I mean,
Yeah, nothing beats the self-titled Tracy Chapman.
Oh, Oh yeah,
It's ridiculous. It's like they're asking $80 for it now.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what the story is there? Did the tapes burn up, or is there some reason they've never repressed it?
I think it's
there's
never
an
been
appetite for it.
repressed.
I know, but clearly there's an appetite for it. Surely Elektra, I think it's
And
on
the
Elektra.
funny thing, it's an all digital recording, by the way.
Yes. I think it's a licensing issue from what I read. So
It's so surprising because that's one that's just money just waiting to be taken.
I just realized
That was cheap for so long too. That one.
I know. I just realized I got 2 different labels on Horzu.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, rub it in.
Oh.
Yeah.
2 different. The new one and the old one.
I only have the bottom one and the Apple one.
Okay, I don't have the Apple one. I guess I got to find that
And
one.
I have a bootleg. There's a bootleg too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's colored vinyl. It's like clear vinyl.
Oh, okay.
Like Amazon I'm not Amazon. Amoeba would sell them, so I don't know.
Mm.
Good to know. I didn't know that. Okay. So apparently John Benjamin is a comedian. So think of like Archer and Bob's Burgers, the animated shows. Did a jazz album with the premise that he should have learned to play piano first. It's with other legit players and hilarious. Speaking of, you know what makes me think? Have you guys ever listened to the Jeff Goldblum piano records?
No, but I've heard him play on video. I mean,
So I was at
he's good.
Yeah, he's actually good. I saw him perform up at there's a Napa Valley festival that does like food and wine. Bottle Rocks, I think.
Bottle Rocket.
Yeah, Bottle Rocks. And so we went a couple of years ago and we're like, wow, because Jeff Goldblum did something with like the food portion of the festival, and then he did a performance where he was actually pretty good playing the piano. He obviously worked the crowd. I mean, in that kind of Goldblum kind of shtick he does, but it's actually pretty good music, to be honest with you. Couldn't believe it. Good stuff.
Benjamin.
I have something interesting that a viewer told me about.
Let's do it. I'm making you big. Let's go.
Well, I had done a review of this. This is Chad's version, 33, and he told me that he had a friend that was like deeply into this record and this artist and everything, like a historian. And he said that this reissue from 2016 is taken from a better source than Chad's is.
Wow.
So I picked it up.
And verdict?
It does sound, the vocals do sound a little smoother than they do on Chad's. That was my only reservation about that. It did sound like an inferior tape source on the analog productions, even though they kind of tout that it was some kind of special process to produce it. The only thing is the vinyl on this standard pressing it looks like reground.
There's a really good, I think it sounds great. My guess is digital, but a 3-record Patsy Cline from Third Man that came out.
They did a colored version and then a straight black version.
I have the straight black. It is so good. And it sounds great. It's probably digital, but it sounds great. And a beautiful package and 3 full albums of, I love Patsy Cline.
Here's John Benjamin.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. I got you. Oh, so this is the guy. Wow, is that a?
That's a Super Dave Osborne.
Yeah, I was wondering. Evil Knievel? What's going on here? Okay.
I don't know. That's who he is.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
then there it is. News to me. Wow.
Yeah, me too.
Good stuff. So, David, do you want to share with the group like what you told me earlier when I talked to you? What were you up to tonight?
So I hit 2,000 subscribers today, finally. And so now, so I wanted to I'm thinking about doing some kind of contest, but they're such a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Arnaldo, I know you mentioned you're kicking the idea around. Listen to us who have run these contests.
I ran one too.
Why is it so difficult? Like what's the headache about it?
Well, part of it is verifying it's a subscriber. Sometimes people are not public, so you don't know if they're a subscriber. And then, just coming up with an idea. They got to be if you're going to ship something like a record, you want to make sure they're probably in the US. There's just limits, I guess. That's the thing.
Scott, I don't want to trigger you, but I remember you actually had a very clever, you had like the hangman, or it was like a letter kind of thing. So you actually had to make sure you're watching each of the videos because you drop the clue in.
Right.
But share some of the challenges that came with that.
Well, I read up on the rules for YouTube, and apparently you can't request that someone become a subscriber to participate in the contest. That's against the rules.
Yeah.
So that was one thing, but I tried to make it.
You got to break the rules around here.
Yeah. That's right. Rules.
So
how do they track it though? How do they know?
I don't know.
You could ask that. You could request. You don't have to demand them.
Yeah.
I'd love you to.
I ended up persuading them like it's best if you're subscribed so you don't miss a clue.
Right.
So because there was a clue in each video and you had to watch the whole
Velvet
damn video.
Velvet Touch. Yes. Nice job.
Yeah, there you go.
Jason Rojas actually won, didn't he? Yeah. What? That's right.
Wow.
What?
It sounds complicated.
It was a little too complicated for most people.
I disagree, and I here's why. Because a lot of these contests are like you got to show record. You got show 30 records that your mom gave you when she was driving down the street. So there's all these complexities to it. Right, Scott, his was very nuanced. You had to watch the videos because he would subtly drop the letter clue. You had to make the little grid. At least that's how I was doing it.
It was like Wheel of Fortune. You got a phrase. It's all blanks. It was a lyric from Revolver. And
because you were giving away. You got an extra. Not to spoil the juice here, but you got an extra. You got the Revolver mono cut, right? Sent to you accidentally or something like that.
Yeah. When I got my my Revolver box, it didn't have a stereo in it. It had 2 monos.
Wow.
So
that's called mono a mono, I guess would be.
Yeah. So I picked up the stereo, by itself, and I not auctioned off, but did a contest for the mono, extra
Uh-oh.
mono.
Jason, I think
Jason.
we have a heel turn. Jason, that you guys were saying hello to each other in the chat. I caught that, and then now it's forget it.
It sounds too complicated. It's like when I saw that John Waters film at the Castro Theater.
Oh,
it had the scratch and sniff cards, and every
Wow.
time the dot came out, you had to do the scratch and sniff.
It was kind of like that, yeah.
That's like OBGYN monthly.
And of course, and then they would tease you. Something was so disgusting, but of course they wouldn't have you scratch in that moment. They go, "Oh my God, Divine's going to do that."
That was polyester, right?
Polyester. Oh, is that? Yeah, right.
Okay.
You guys need to go backstage and talk about this one because this is going real sideways real quick.
No, but it was complicated. You want to anyway.
But I mean, well, Jason obviously won. It wasn't too complicated, but I
Oh,
should have known.
jeez.
Wow.
Oh,
He's
wow.
smarter. Than
No, and I mean that in a good way because his musical knowledge shown, because I think you were up to 4 letters or 5, Scott, by that time, and
Yes.
Jason got it right away. And
Jason's got to be super smart to hang out with Stunty and Michael 45 at the biggest record show in the world.
hold on, Stunty may not go. I watched Stunty's show on Friday, and he was dropping some hints that we'll see. And I was talking
What does
to
that
Jason.
mean?
Well, I don't know if
he feels Jason's
I mean,
upstaging
so
him. That's what it is.
There's another new boy toy. Instead, he's off the radar.
It's like now Jason's
Patrick
the new
is
boy
off.
toy. He's the
Stunty
German
is
boy
off.
toy.
Jason,
Yeah,
you're in the on deck
Hey,
circle.
Chance, you're next.
No, I think I offended Michael this week with a comment I made, so I think I'm on the naughty list.
It loses a translation. Just let's leave it at
100%. Well, it was the other day on the stream, Azzy, and you were talking. I think it was the one where the kid came up and did the Bob Dylan that episode.
I lost it.
Oh God!
The one where we almost sent the paramedics to your house, but
Oh God, I have like 5
Diapers for
years
sure.
that I had the giggles. I swear to God, I lost it. It
was a sight to behold because the unintentional comedy scale broke.
And a guy was like on a 7-second delay, and he was pushing a button on the mic to get it to work. I mean, I was like, "What the?"
But he had the set. It was.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. You don't want to make fun of someone.
Listen, it was sweet, and I appreciate what Garrett. He's got 200 subscribers. Good for him. But he has doubled down on the commitment to what he was presenting that day. He had the on-air button
shit together.
Yeah, that was true.
But I just the whole thing, I lost it completely.
He had to go black screen because Mazzy just could not keep it together.
I had to walk out. And I came
He left the
upstairs
chair,
and the
man.
archivist was here. She goes, "What's wrong?" I said, I can't even explain it because it wouldn't be funny to try to.
Unless you had the video. I mean, you literally had to be there, and I think she left the stream up.
She did
because it's a sight to be seen. It's like
I was crying. When you laugh and you cry so hard, and it's not on the surface really that funny.
No.
You hit something inside you, and
but usually have that point where you can exhale, and it just kept. It was like Indiana Jones, the big boulder. It just kept continuing.
I tried to come on a few times, and I had to log out. It
was something else.
He's dead serious too.
He was locked in. He was locked. Yeah. And if you noticed, he did the Bob Dylan thing at first, and then he went away from it. So the fact he came back to it. It was all you could do is just give him a tip of the cap because he was dedicated to getting that Bob Dylan impression out one way or another.
I mean, you have all the props and they don't fucking work. That's the thing, I mean, you got the whole setup, the microphone, the banner, the little.
Well, he had his closet door open, so he had his clothes showing. So Mazzy's like, "Hey man, close the door." So what does he do? He turns the display. He doesn't even close. He
just changes the view.
I mean, that's the Virgo in me. I need it neat. If you're going to do a set, you're going to be a little studio, close your door if there's not your dirty laundry hanging there,
Well, maybe he just came out of the closet.
Arnaldo, I think that painting behind you is crooked on the wall way back there.
Yeah, right. OCD.
I'm totally like that though. If something's off center, I go crazy.
No, actually, I think that's the photographer eye in you.
It's before I was in this business. I'm just it's the Virgo organization It's the
Yeah.
symmetry.
Yeah, I get that with my shelf behind me, having
No,
stuff, and I got to get my head
because
just
when-
right. Yeah.
You know, my partner makes fun of me all the time whenever we're on vacation, I have to take a picture. I'm always looking for the correct framing. So I'm very obsessive about that. And even like when I do the videos, I make sure what's behind me everything has to look perfect. But you know.
Well, that's when I go crazy when people go, I got this new record and it's like, and it's body and soul. It's on MTV Records. And, you know, or they're going like, you know, or they go like this. Well, you know, there's a booklet in that comes with it, and like, show it to the audience. Don't fucking read it. I mean, it's a visual medium. And I know I beat a dead horse with it, but just, you know, I totally lost it. Yeah.
That's too funny.
Hey, now that's entertainment.
So let's circle back to the Den Bosch thing, because I'm going to actually live vicariously through Jason. So Jason, talk about, I mean, you're going to Den Bosch, spoiler alert, but like what's the agenda? What's the plan? Like, you're going to connect with Michael 45. Stunty's kind of up in the air. We may have to like do a Patreon to kind of make sure he gets across the finish line. What tell us about it?
Well, other people are going from the OBC, but some
big.
other people from like the VC, like Nadine is actually going to go there. Liam is going to go there.
Sure.
Well, and the whole thing for me is to find good deals, because the videos that I saw from, I think last year, I think we all saw Stunty and Michael kind of like pulling out these like really rare or obscure records, and they were super expensive. So my thing is to find good deals, you know?
And are you bringing the big suitcase, or what? How are you going to haul these back? Because that's where my mind first goes.
Oh, that's a good question. So I actually bought some of these. I can show you them. Like,
yes, come on.
It's kind of like protective bags, and I have experience because I've gone to different countries like Brazil, Poland.
Are you talking like Selector, the brand Selector, or are these like DJ boxes?
The Selector bags are the best bags.
I have one too. They're fantastic. Yeah.
Which bag is it?
Selector bags. I'm sorry, guys. What are the Selector bags?
Argentina.
Yeah, so they're made in Argentina, and they're actually padded on the inside. They're more like a record fair type bag that you can just drape. You know, like usually you have the record, like the canvas little bag, but Selector actually builds padding into them. So if you're at a crowded show, and you know sometimes people bump into you or they're just savages, these are really nice bags. But it probably sounds, Jason, like it's like a DJ box. Is that safe to say, or?
It's just like a DJ bag.
They're like $45 or something, you know. They're not overly expensive. They're padded. They hold what, 40
to 50. Yeah. Single. Yeah. So if you have some doubles,
they got padding. I mean, they're not good to check or anything, but I bring them to record shows when I'm traveling. When I go to San Francisco, in my car, I load it up. They got a nice. I mean, it's just a nice bag.
And who sells those?
It's a brand called Selector
around this country.
SELEKTOR.
Yeah. Now certain record stores do carry them. Amoeba carries them. They don't ship them. You have to get them on site. But I actually ordered direct because they had this sounds stupid. A highlighter yellow color that I wanted, because when I went to Austin, I wanted my wife to be able to find me. So
they're a sponsor. They're a sponsor of Women in Vinyl. I'm a big supporter.
Oh, yeah, that podcast.
My friend Amanda's on the board, and Jen, the big Black Sabbath, is the CEO. Whatever they're doing, it's a great thing to support that organization. They have a podcast.
They do,
and it's great. And so
they only put out one episode a month, though, Maz. You may want to talk to them. You know.
Yeah, They have a book coming out in the fall. That like Amanda was the editor on it, and the book's coming out in the fall, Women in Vinyl, and I'm going to do a big video when that comes out for them. But this is a great bag.
It is a great bag. I enjoy it.
Different colors, you know.
Yeah, they got it in camo. That's cool.
They do. That way nobody can see you.
This is the best bag I've found, and best bag for your bag for your buck. At it. For $45, I think that's extremely rich. You know, you go to New York, you go down to Canal Street, this would be $150, $200 bag. You know?
Sure.
So, Jason, do you want to show us the tools you're taking? You did tease it. You don't have to, but
no, mine is not as good as the Selector.
Come on, we're not trying to brand shame you here.
Well, I just have experience with like just putting it in a bag and wrapping it with my like an extra towel and stuff. and putting it.
Do you steal
between-
towels from the hotel?
No, I bring my
No,
own
just
towels,
robes.
yes,
Just
I
robes.
would just steal the fucking towel.
Robes, whatever.
And the soap and the little hair. Like I
The
steal the
slippers.
shampoo. 'cause I don't
Marriott
need the
International. Here he is. Marriott International.
shampoo.
Got
I
him on
steal the
film.
shampoo because I don't need the shampoo.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of like looking at that bag. I'm like, oh, I need that one, and I need the 7-inch selector bag as well. Gonna be.
Maybe they'll have a booth at the thing.
They actually might. Yeah, that's probably not. That's
You
probably
should
not.
see if they're a vendor there. You could buy one there.
So
It's true.
So Jason, the goal is to find the records that you can't necessarily find here, or
Yeah, just like, and also like affordable like stuff, you know. I'm not really into the obscure. I mean, because you can always get that on the internet and pay like a top dollar. But to me, it's like if you can find the first Roxy Music album pressed in the UK, which is like Island Records, and if you can find that less than 20 euros, that's a deal. You know.
And can you pick a copy up for me too of that first Roxy Music album?
I was going to say,
On the
how
Island
about some
label?
Smith's UK pressings? But Arnaldo Party has those. Is that
Can you
fair
pick
to
me
say?
up a UK copy of Viva Hate?
Is that what you're looking for?
I don't. I mean, I'm never looking for anything, but when I come across stuff, you know,
Sure.
I have a lot of good American copies. I don't need that extra oomph. I'm not
Christian.
there.
But that's a good record, though. You know.
It's a great record. Yeah. I still like Morrissey's records. I like his last few records.
So
I like
is
that
it-
Spanish band he's been playing with.
So
you
it
know?
sounds like if we make a list for you, Jason, you'll be happy to hunt for us first.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you'll find your own record second. Can we get you on film saying that? Is that accurate? I'm messing.
Can you pick me up every first British prog record of every artist?
But you don't like prog. You just made a video. You're
I
not.
love, you know, that's the thing is I enjoy prog, but it's the easiest mock genre to mock after like 74, 75, when it was 2 records, 3 records, 4 records, and all this, you know, bloated stuff, from my opinion, you know. But there's a lot of groups beyond the main groups, Camel and Caravan and these and I like that stuff actually, you know. But I like to joke about it. That's the thing. People take it too fucking serious.
Just records, yeah, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
So,
I mean,
go ahead, Jason. Sorry.
I was gonna say, Chance, it's just fun to meet people, you know.
No, that honestly, that's been one of my favorite parts of doing the whole YouTube thing, because I would see some of these folks.
Exactly.
Oh, hang on. I gotta make you big, Scott. Hold on.
Camel, yeah.
I got this.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
And where did you pick this up?
I don't even remember.
Were you on cold medicine? Like
Probably.
You know,
I just was like blown away by them.
yeah.
It was nice. Yeah.
I like Caravan a lot too, but
It's the only one I have of Camel.
The Goose one, what's it called? Snow Goose or something? That's pretty good. Jason, I agree with you. Meeting people in the VC after we've known each other on, like, I'm going to meet, I think, next week, maybe.
Week after, yeah.
The concert buddy, the buddy is gonna
buddy
be in my
What?
city.
The buddy of concerts, concert
Right?
buddy. Yes.
So I'm going to meet buddy. It's been really, and it's really been fun doing that kind of, like, I've never met Rob, and if anyone's like wants to get out, go to a stereo show. End of June is the Pacific Northwest show. Michael Fremer, I met him last year, and Jim from the record
Collector
the
News, yeah.
non-paying record collector is going to be there, and Rob's coming up for that, and what's his name, Mike, maybe from In Groove might come.
I got to be honest though. Jim did do me dirty. He never asked if he wanted my photo or my logo, so he throws Dylan from Noble Records, who I did talk about in the article, in my byline. That kind of hurt my feelings a little.
Well, you
bit.
got to be
Proactive. I know you got to be firm with your art. I know.
They both have beards.
Yeah,
Can't tell the difference.
I was like, hang on a second. I know I'm a bearded bald guy, but come on, man.
You know, they should change the name of this to the Vinyl Community. You know,
Final
basically,
VC Times.
right? Everybody is fucking, you know, from the VC here.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm sure you guys didn't notice this, and I didn't know it because I had been talking to him. I thought it was going to be in the next issue, but if you like podcasts,
Oh, right.
Oh man.
You know what I did this time for the first time? I did a video on the Humming Guru, my follow-up, right? And you know when you do the I don't know if you know this, but you can do what do you call it? The for deaf people.
Oh, closed caption.
Closed captions. You can download the transcript. So I download the transcript, I transferred it to a Word doc, and I reformatted, and that was my starting point for my article. And then I went in and added and subtracted and edited.
It's interesting you say that, because there's a guy, and David, you may know who I'm talking about, Brian in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
He's I think he's legally blind, but he listens to our. I know he does my videos, and I saw him comment on your recent video. But he participates. How he's able to, maybe he has diction where he dictates what he wants to say to our comments. But it blows me away, because he's very thorough in what he has to say, and he clearly isn't, I guess, enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah, there are some intelligent deaf people.
Exactly what I was saying.
Now, don't someone's gonna take that out of context.
I know it's inevitable. It's inevitable. So Jason, back to Den Bosch again, living vicariously through you. I know we talked about you've got your feelers out who are going to take care of Record Store Day for you, but what's the kind of agenda? So you're going to, because you would, not to spoil our conversation, but going to Den Bosch, but you may peel off and go to some record stores. Like, what's your itinerary kind of look like at this point?
Well, I've been to Amsterdam before, and there's like really amazing record stores there. And I don't know, I'm like very tempted to go there like on Saturday, but I'll be back there on Sunday when I fly to Ireland, basically. So
how far out of Amsterdam is it?
Den Bosch to Amsterdam. I think it's about an hour.
Rotterdam, or is it? Do you know?
It's like a train ride. I think it's about an hour away.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good. Well, that's kind of why I asked about the luggage piece. I know I kid, but because you're going to not only doing the fair, I mean, you're going to go to these other record. I mean, you may have to ship some of this back. You know that, right?
Well, yeah. The thing is, like, I'll be there. The record show's 2 days, but an extra day for Friday for like dealers. I paid extra to go in there, and like,
is that like early bird? Is that?
Yeah. Basically to scope it out, because that's what usually what I would do when I go to like the WFMU like record show. And that's in New York. I would just scope it out, pay for the Friday, and
Are you and Michael and Stunty all bunking in a youth hostel?
No, Mazzy. I'm staying in my own hotel.
No, my first time. Yeah, okay. My first time to Amsterdam. That was my 1978 youth hostel thing.
Tell us, hey guy, tell us that story, man. This is where I got to make you big. So you went to a youth hostel. Were you? Was it your first time being touched by a man? Like, what's going on here?
No, 78. You'd get your rail pass, you go around, and I went to Amsterdam, and I remember there was a show in Rotterdam. I went to it was Dylan and Eric Clapton and Bob Marley.
Wow.
Outdoor. It was when the 78 tour, when Dylan had the big like Vegas
Wanker plus two, I guess would they be? That was right.
It was the like the Budokan Japan live Dylan thing that period.
Okay.
And then I saw him again in Oakland a few months later when I got back. But it was just I was staying in some youth hostel, bunk beds in a common room type of thing, cheap, backpacking around Europe, and Dylan's playing, of course, in 78. So you get a ticket and you take a train there.
That's real Jason, cool. Are you going to get the special pass to clear Michael's security?
Well, it's going to be weird. I don't, because I heard stories from him last year where he went and people were like coming up to him and asking for his autograph, and that's like really wild, I don't know if anyone's ever done that to you, Massey, like just,
not autograph, but I've had people come out. Twice it's happened on the street separately. I expect it like in records and record shows, it happened a lot, but twice like separately on a street, like.
Yeah, like in front of your house when you have people walking by with records.
I don't have that. They
want to have them cleaned.
I don't have that. It is weird. It is weird.
But I mean, to me, if that happens, like whatever, I'm friendly enough, But if I'm in the middle of looking at records, I'm gonna tell them like, just give me a second. I gotta dig through these records real quick,
Sure. Now, I talked to David a little bit today, and I did, just as a reiteration, talking about the meetups. I've kind of sent out some feelers, but some of us, and Jason, correct me if I heard you wrong, trying to target Austin, the second Austin show at the end of September, beginning of October, for a potential VC meetup. Arnaldo, come on down. Scott, come on over.
I'm actually hoping that if WFMU has their annual finally record fair, that you guys will come out to New York. They haven't announced it when, but I'm expecting it probably around the fall, maybe around October.
I've been to the Austin show
Jason,
3
you've been
times.
to WFMU, right?
Yes. I've been set up there for a year or two and just pissed people off. Because I was selling like a lot of hot records, and then I told you so the Friday's sort of the dealer load-in day, and I walked around and saw no one has that Os Mutantes record, but I do, and I can set the price high for it. And so by putting it on the wall and showing it, people were just like, oh man, what the, And I'm like, I know that I'm the only one who has it,
I got to go off and do some stuff. Let Elliot come on.
Yep,
but
sounds good.
I'm going to listen. I'm going to
Okay.
listen.
Sounds good, Matthew. Thanks for coming
Take it easy, buddy.
I'll make rude comments in the.
All right. We appreciate
Counting on it. Counting on it.
Thanks.
Good night.
All right, Elliot. Let's get you up here.
Elliot.
Boom. There he is. What's up?
How's everybody?
Aren't you tired? Didn't you do the
Elliot.
auction stream? I know I saw you on there. You were part of that, right?
How is everybody?
Hey, Elliot, how are you?
Hey, Elliot.
Good.
This club sounds great, but it's competition for my club.
What is your club, Elliot?
I've got an vinyl investment club called Vinyl Directions for the Vinyl Community, or as I like to refer to it, VD for the VC.
Elliot, tell me more about this club. Is it an LCL? Is it a Patreon opportunity? What is this?
It's actually a pyramid
Pyramid
scheme, but I'd rather that we didn't tell everybody. But
Okay.
I try to get people to join, and I send them overpriced records, and then they buy them from me every month, and I encourage them to get other people to join as them being their sponsor. And it just builds. It's a great plan.
And so where do I sign up? Is the next question.
Send an email to me, and I will have you signed up. But I'm starting a new branch, a new subsidiary of VD for the VC, and that's called VD Accessories.
Whoa!
Now here's what we're doing.
Oh my God, he's got props.
See this?
Yes, sir.
All right, I get these at the Dollar General. See this?
Yes, sir.
Bad record.
Okay.
Look at there. What have we got here? We've
table.
got a record collector stool. So you can get your records. I'm going to sell this for $45. And
First,
I've
you got
another one.
VD in the front and stools in the back. Okay. All right.
Wow.
And here's another one. You can get these. You can buy these in bulk, or you can buy them one at a time for $1 at the Dollar Tree.
Yes, sir.
This is, take this out of the box, and this is a turntable lamp. $45.
You can see all the dust, dirt, and grime.
Elliot, have you been waiting? Have you been waiting for this opportunity to share this business model with us?
Well, I've actually got a video about my investment club that I did about 3 weeks ago. Obviously, you guys haven't watched it. But I would encourage you to check it out, because there's nothing like spreading VD to the community.
To the VC, yes.
Yep,
So to make sure to put a bow on this, VD in the VC or VDVC?
It's Vinyl Directions.
Yes, sir.
For the vinyl community, or VD for the VC.
I mean,
it's a can't lose proposition. Wow. Everybody will make money, especially me.
it all goes uphill is what it sounds like.
That's right. That's right. Bernie Madoff recommends this.
Okay.
Or he did before he died. My address is Elliott Cruz, VD for the VC, Ponzi Boulevard, 203 Ponzi Boulevard, Lillington, North Carolina.
Okay.
Billington, 2 L's in Billington.
With the L, no, Lillington.
Lillington. Apologies, Lillington.
Yep. There's actually a band called the Lillingtons, but they're not from Lillington, so I don't understand that. But
Elliot,
they're from out west, I believe. A punk band. Jason, do you know that band?
No.
The Lillingtons. They're pretty popular, I think. They're not my cup of tea, but you know.
I mean, I don't know if the VC has seen this level of entrepreneurship all at once. Usually it's staggered. But to have 3 home run ideas.
Yeah.
A one sitting. I mean, you're ready to go to market. You've got a strategy. You've got a brand. I mean, Elliot, this is. I feel bad. We only have 24, 25 viewers because this is the opportunity. I'm taking the words out of your mouth. Opportunity of a lifetime.
It is. It is. My accounting firm has crunched all the numbers, and it's a sure thing. My accounting firm of
Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
No, it's actually Cheatham and Cheatham.
Cheatham and Cheatham. Sorry.
Cheatham and Cheatham.
Fair enough. I think Scott's going to get his checkbook, Elliot. I think Scott went.
Send me your routing number and your account number, and you don't have to do anything else. I'll take care of the rest.
Oh my gosh, this is a high charge right here, Elliot. Mom Knows Treasures. MKT says, but he sounds like a lot of VC sellers. Name and names.
I think it's awful that we keep sending money out for records, but we don't take money in.
True.
That's what we've got to start doing.
Elliot, I couldn't agree more. Now, Elliot, what do you say to this? This is a high charge right here. Christopher says, sounds like Alex Dickey has rubbed off on Elliot. Elliot, how do you respond to this?
I don't like that comparison, to be honest with you.
And how so? How so? Is it too close to home? Is it he's on your turf, or were you on his turf? How come?
I'm older than him, so he must be on my turf.
Without question.
Yeah, but it's the Dickey and the VD, they kind of go together. So it's
Oh my gosh,
I mean,
guys.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
You guys, I think you guys are about to come up with the next 100,000 subscriber channel. I think that's all I can just see money dollar signs just back and forth. Good stuff. Wow, David, how come you didn't come up with this idea? This feels like something that you could have hatched.
Yeah, well, I just
he beat you to the concept, beat you to proof of concept.
It's been so long, I don't know. Maybe VD's more on his mind than me, but I don't know. Former teacher now, anyway.
Oh my gosh! So
you got to spread the love. You just got to spread the love.
So outside of spreading venereal, VD and the VC. Did I not see? Were you on screen with the auction today, or was that last night's stream, Jazz Bum stream? I get them confused.
I was on the Jazz Bum stream for a long time.
Did you pop into the auction? Because I'm curious.
I did. I spent more money than I should have, so I've got to get this business plan underway.
No wonder
you're here. You're here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now it's all making sense. I'm putting.
I normally scoop up all the stuff nobody else wants, so I don't spend that much. But everybody wanted everything.
I mean,
have you noticed if you do a buy it now, as a lot of them do sometimes, where you first one to type in the price. Prices are pretty good, but boy, when you do an auction, people go wild.
Goes out of hand. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. I know a guy that they used to have auctions just down the road here a lot, and they would do it every Friday night, and people would buy and buy. And this guy, he went to the Walmart and he bought 2 shotguns, and they were like $175 shotguns, So he had $350 wrapped up in them. And he carries them out there and puts them up there at the auction. And people just went wild. They had to have one of those shotguns. And he got like $700 or $800. More doubled or more his money. Just and they could have gone to Walmart and bought it for half what they paid,
So you're saying Rob was selling records that we could have went out and bought at half the price? Is it because this is a big charge?
I don't want to charge anybody.
This is a Mike Esposito move. It sounds like a Mike Esposito move.
No, they were fair. I mean, it's what the market will bear, right?
That's true. That's fair.
I got Wayne Shorter, etc. And I checked out, and I paid with shipping. It would end up being, because I got 3 records, so $6. So it'd be $2. With shipping, it ended up being $34. But when I went on discogs, those on discogs were selling for $55 or more. So I got a good deal on that one. But sometimes they. But it's not the seller. I mean, can you blame them if they're doing an auction? It's what the market will bear. They weren't paying astronomically high prices, but
sure,
it's going to be, if you're going to an auction on YouTube or anywhere else. That's the only place I ever do them. You just know you're probably not going to get a real. You're not going to save a whole lot of money. You might save a little bit of money, but you're not going to save a whole lot of money.
Well, that's what I've experienced just watching the Whatnot auction.
Oh yeah, they're out of hand.
I'm like, some of this stuff is still in print that you could buy.
Yeah.
And I don't know why just people are overpaying for titles that are maybe momentarily, out of stock, but they're not out of print,
Right.
Or titles that we've seen.
It's the whole mentality of the auction. It's people go to auctions because of the excitement. Life's boring sometimes for people, and an auction is exciting. I had a great time at the auction today.
Well, I mean, I think it's also psychological, because you win an auction.
Yeah.
There's fun in winning.
Yes.
When you could just go to Amazon and just buy it.
How boring that is.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I was afraid that Wayne Shorter, etc. I was going to go to Amazon afterwards, and I was going to find it for $23.99 or something like that, but it wasn't there. They didn't have it in stock. That pressing of it, or any pressing of it.
I'd be curious what this auction was, because the times that I've tried Whatnot, or when I pop in, like I know Harry had one today, so I went there, and there was, I think, one record I tried getting, which I didn't. But the deals, I hear people say there's deals, but personally, I haven't seen them. So maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. Have you guys have you found Whatnot deals? Is anybody on the
Yeah,
I've never been to the Whatnot.
You have to wait for the FOMO to subside, because a lot of people jump in and initially. So like after the first hour, and I think Arnaldo, like he saw me get that Charles Mingus, the Black Saint and the Sinner Lady, and I got the AP, the 2LP 45 version, and I think I only paid like
you didn't overpay for that.
I just took it, because everyone was already beat down chance, So that's the thing. That's how you have to play it, After the initial hour and the FOMO has subsided, then you can pounce.
That's smart. That's strategy. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, or let people spend all their money first.
Well, that's another way of putting it too. Yes.
You were talking about record shows earlier. That's another strategy for record shows. The one that comes around 4 times a year to Raleigh, which is the nearest record show to me, comes on Sunday. And it's a circuit that these sellers go on. They're in Charlotte on Saturday, Charlotte, North Carolina on Saturday, probably somewhere else on Friday. And then they're finishing up the weekend on Sunday in Raleigh. So if it starts at 10 o'clock and goes till 4, I don't show up until 2. And then I start walking around, and those folks are tired.
Yes. Yeah.
And some of them haven't done as well, hadn't sold as much as they hope to sell, and they might need gas money to get home. Plus, they don't
want to carry
the fewer records they have to pack. They pack these up 3, 4, 6. This will be the 6th or 6th time when they get home to unpack them, that they pack them up for this long weekend. The lighter the load, the better. So I found I can get some pretty good deals doing that. They're willing to bargain a little bit more.
But you also take the chance that the records that maybe you were looking for are already gone. You know, someone else got them.
It works good if you go in without a preset list of albums you want to buy. You're just looking for something interesting. But yeah, you want to go there early.
Well, I went.
You're going to pay top dollar then, you know.
And you're going to pay top dollar if you got specific albums that you want.
Yeah. But for example, when I went to the Astoria show, I went on both days. They had it Saturday and Sunday. And some of the vendors that were there on one day were not there on the other. Yep. And they were talking about on Saturday about a guy who was bringing in a huge dollar collection, like crates and crates of dollar records that he needed to get rid of. When I went back on that Sunday, there was a line just to get in because in this room, that's where the guy had all the stuff. I bypassed him because there were way too many people. And I went to other vendors. When I went back there, that section had been pillaged and I saw the records, the packs of this, like people had boxes of records that were normally anywhere. Like I found a Steely Dan Gaucho for $1. You know, that's not real. It's in good condition. It's not, I mean, typically I've always seen it like $10 or $15, but there were so many other records that I missed out on because everyone, like there was a couple of guys, I'm sure they were buying for their store or to resell because they had boxes of records. They had asked for boxes and they were just grabbing stuff and they were putting them in boxes. So yeah, I mean, you could miss out either on the higher priced items if you wait too long. But in this case, you know, I missed out on a lot of cheap records because I bypassed them. I was there at the early bird, but I saw way too many people because I guess people knew this guy was coming and they're familiar with what he usually brings. So they were really waiting for him. So yeah, I mean, it's always luck. Like at another fair that I went to a month ago, I saw the same record 3 times. As a matter of fact, I asked Jason, I was like, Jason, do you think $20 is worth this Tom Tom Club record, which I've seen around? And he's like, well, $20, maybe not. I looked around and by the time I left, I got it for $5 at another vendor.
Exactly.
Same record.
Yeah. Don't get too excited about something you see first at the store. Make the circuit.
The way they be.
I had
I gotta sign off.
I was gonna say, I know, Scott. Thanks for dropping in. It was so awesome to pop up here, Scott. Thanks for coming.
Good seeing you,
Talk to you guys.
Take care, bud.
Be good.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
What were you saying, Elliot?
I've got a booth, a table at a vintage shop in town, in the little small town I live in. And I started out selling records. Now I would get them and I'd clean them thoroughly and I'd put them in new inner and outer sleeves and fix them up. And I started out selling them for $4. And the price of records that I'm able to get has gone up so much that now I'm selling them for $8.
You doubled it. Wow.
I mean, it was a gradual thing. You know, it was $4, then it was $5, and then I went from 6 and I went to 7. I said, no, I just go ahead and go to 8. But then I took all the stuff that had just been sitting there for I've been doing it about 4 years. So the stuff that had been sitting there for 4 years and mark those as half price, $4. And so I'm, trying to move stuff out that is just taking up space so I can get stuff that people are more apt to buy. I've found that you never know what somebody's going to buy, first of all. Sure. But I've found that it's really hard to move 60s rock.
Like define 60s rock, like not the usual stuff like Stones, Beatles, that stuff.
No, well, I'm not going to be able to sell much Stones or Beatles for $8.
That's right.
Right. I mean, so we're not talking about those records. We're talking about the next tier down, basically, the stuff that's more common. But it's stuff that'll sell for $15 in a record shop, But I'm talking about stuff like Jan and Dean,
Yeah.
Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, Paul Revere and the Raiders, just good rock, pop rock type stuff. That's it just sits there. It doesn't move, and singer songwriter stuff doesn't move. Well, I mean, anything moves a little bit. The right person comes along, but
those, the people that really know who they are dying off. That's,
well, that's what I was going to say. That they haven't translated the new generations.
The younger generation is focused on that mid '70s rock, I think.
Yeah,
more so than the mid '60s.
Yeah, unless it's a really big name in the '60s, it's starting to fade.
Oh, Jason, I know what you're doing. I just saw you pull something out. Oh.
So can you make me big chance?
I can, yes, sir. Hold, please.
We'll talk about this one. So this is a very common record. Is it? Can everyone
After
see
the Gold Rush
for it?
Oh yeah, great album.
How much? I can't see the tell. $8?
Nope.
$2.99.
$2.99.
Yeah.
$2.99.
So the thing is, like, this is a very common rock record, but what's not common is that it actually came out on the W7 label and Warner Reprise. And that's the thing you got to look for, right? So this is where I think, to Christopher, what he's trying to say here, like, it's so common, nobody cares, but then this thing was, waiting to be taken by me,
Yeah. That was the condition of it.
Oh, it's great. It's good. I would say VG plus. I'm not going to be like the Jazz Bum Stream and say VG plus plus plus.
Have you played it, Jason? Have you played it?
Have I played? Yes.
Yeah, and it plays as well as it looks.
Plays as well as it looks.
So it's not VG plus cubed, is what you're telling us, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Have you compared it to the Neil Young reissue?
I don't have that. So.
Ooh, okay.
So I think that's the 40th anniversary, right?
Yeah. I got that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a thicker box, right, Arnaldo?
Yeah.
I think I have that one. Yeah.
And it's got a tip on. It's more like a silver metallic finish. So yeah, I was wondering if you compared it.
That's one thing I was like looking into, because they released that Harvest, right? And then
I didn't get the Harvest, but I got the Gold Rush after the Gold Rush. I want to get the Harvest because people are saying the extras on the in the box set, even though they're on CD, they're really good. What is it? The CD? Is it a
it's the DVD.
It's a DVD, right?
It's the documentary is really good, and then the live at the BBC in concert. I think that's.
Did you get it?
Yeah, it sounds good, but I think like the DVD, I think it's the audio is overblown and they haven't addressed it yet. But to get that the audio on like the vinyl, that BBC in concert is amazing.
Oh, even the BBC in concert is on vinyl. It's not only okay.
That's actually worth getting it, because that's not going to be sold separately.
Well, fellas, let's go about another 14. And I know Matt was talking about maybe coming up, and then that way we'll do a nice clean 3 hours. I was honestly, Arnaldo, when you reached out, I was thinking maybe an hour or two. And then here we are. And I don't know if we've learned or improved or offended or all of the above, but it's been an interesting stream for sure.
So what are we talking about these earlier? Just so I still have
it.
What are these going for? What are these going for, Jason?
No, they're still going for between like 20 and 60. Like if somebody tries to sell it for more, they're just trying to get you.
What if the record, one side of it says Yellow Submarine?
I saw your video on that. I don't know. I guess you could make it special and sell it for 40.
I can't
50.
find it anywhere. I can't find it on discogs.
You can say very rare mispress, misprint.
Have we ever gone 3 hours without showing a Beatles record?
No, I Impossible.
Fair enough.
Impossible. Actually, Elliot, that's a great stream idea. I think next one of these pop-up streams I do, it's going to be, can we go a full stream without a Beatles record? And I guarantee it, George Foreman guarantee, somebody won't be able to help themselves, especially if Mazzy jumps on.
Pity the fool.
That's right. Rob from Northern Revolution is my buddy. I mean, it may just come on. That's hilarious. Have you guys ever? I know Elliot talking about selling. Have any of you guys ever sold at a record show before?
I did.
And how was your experience, Jason? Because I did too, and I'm just curious.
Well, I said earlier I pissed everybody off because I had records.
Oh, because you had the untouchable record. That's right.
I put them on the wall to make sure, and then people were coming up, and I think I've told this story before. There was a guy walking around at the WFMU, and I see him, and he's kind of stalking, my booth, and I'm like, "Hey, come up here! Like, don't do that. It's so weird, And I'm like, "Okay, what's your name?" And he introduces himself. I introduce myself, and then I say, "Okay, now let's pretend you and I are friends. And what is the record you're looking at the wall?" He goes, "I want that Os Mutantes record." And I said, "Okay, I put 200 on that, that's an expensive record and no one has it. Like, I'm pretty sure you went around, no one has that record except for me, So now that we're friends and we know each other a bit, now give me your price that you're willing to pay for the record."
Baller.
Right? I'm a bit more bold, right?
Baller.
And then he gave me the price, and then I was like, "Dude, this record is yours." Like, and I was like, "What?" And before I took his money, and I held the record, and I said, "Look, you're gonna go home, and you're gonna play this record first. Everything else is garbage."
Jason is sneaky. He's like Mr. Steal Your Girl when it comes to records, because man, that was baller. I love it.
And then he was very happy, and I took his money, and then my friend is sitting there like, "What the hell? Like, how did you?" And I'm like, "Dude, and I told
you knew he wanted it, right? You knew he wanted it.
Yeah, of course, because I see the way they look, And there's this, even before that, there was this young lady. She wanted that record too, and she's like, "Well, I don't have 200." And I said, "Lady, Os Mutantes records, they just don't rain down for $20. There's just no way, And she stormed off in a huff. And then my friend was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Jason, did I have you on the wrong row earlier when I maybe mischaracterized you as an introvert? Because these are some really bold conversations you're sharing here, man.
Well,
he just
you're not
lays
recording this, are you?
Hey, we do have a question, Jason. I don't want to answer it for you. Jason, are you in California?
Nope. I live, sorry, Mom knows treasures. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yes, he does.
But I've been to
I had a call today from the lady that owns the vintage shop where I have my table. And it was like good news, bad news. She said, some guy came in since I'd raised my price. She said he hadn't been in since I raised my prices. And guy came in, he spent about 30 minutes searching through, and he got one record, and he went to pay, and she told me, she said, that'll be $8. And he, what? $8? And she explained, his costs are going up. It's costing him more to find records. And, he's got some with a little red sticker on it. They're only $4, but that one's $8. And he said, I can go to the fairgrounds in Raleigh and get it for $3
and go.
And that's what she told him. She said, well, you better go to the fairgrounds then. And he left in a huff.
It's funny you said that, Elliot, because I was at that local I kind of teased earlier with the Eddie Brickell record. And the guy's a 74-year-old shop owner. And they do some online business, but his bread and butter, like I said, was that rock and roll and record guy he had. And there was a phone call. I was looking into new arrivals, and his shop, the guy who works for him, answers the phone, and I could hear a little bit of the conversation. And they asked about a certain record, and the guy said, "Oh yeah, we have it. How much you have it for?" $20. And the guy, you could tell whoever's on the other end of that phone was arguing, saying, "Well, online it says this." Yeah. And so he was, he was taking a little of the shrapnel. And the guy who owns the shop, the 74-year-old guy, he goes, "Tell him the prices online are fake."
Well, Susan then says, but the good news is the next guy that came in bought $280 worth of records from you. So you far exceeded the cost of your rent this month. So, people are going to pay what they're going to pay. Yeah, that's the thing when you look at discogs and you see a price, say $25.
Yep.
They're going to, it's going to be $25 plus $5 and $5 or $6 shipping and
tax, man.
State income tax.
Yep.
So a $25 record is really going to be more like $35 or $36, right, something like that. And so it's comparing apples and oranges, because when you go in a vintage shop like that, normally you're just going to pay that flat price. You're not going to pay tax and all, unless you start using the debit card and stuff. and then you're probably going to have to pay your taxes.
Yeah, the other thing though, you have the record in your hand, you can actually see the quality of it.
That's
Whereas
right.
you're buying discogs or anybody else, it's a little bit of a crapshoot.
Yep. Well, I paid the most I've paid for a record in a long time yesterday on discogs. After shipping and tax, it ended up being $77, but it was a sealed reissue, sealed copy on Mammoth Records of Hot from the Squirrel Nut Zippers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that's going for $125 is all I'm seeing it sell for.
Really?
And it popped up from but it's a seller that's only sold a few records. So I'm taking a chance. He says it's sealed, no issues.
See you, John.
But about, I felt like it was I wanted that record. I wanted to eventually get all the Squirrel Nut Zipper records, but their other one, Perennial or something like that, that one is selling for $250.
Is that the one that has Zoot Suit Riot on it, or am I thinking of a different one?
I'm not sure which.
Okay.
Hot's got the one that was the big hit that they had in 93 or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that your wheelhouse, Jason?
What, Squirrel Nut Zippers?
Yeah.
No, I've seen them live before. They actually do an amazing show. It's not my thing though.
How would you
go ahead?
I was gonna say, how would you classify that music? It's because it's not really ska. Is it because it's kind of a throwback because they kind of have that tinge sound? Like how would you
call it retro Dixieland,
like Stray Cats kind of vibes, right?
Well,
like
I'd go even further. I'd say retro 20s, that 20s sound to me, that jazz in the 20s sound,
like the nightclub sound, kind of. You know? Okay, yeah.
Like Cab Calloway or Hoagie Carmichael or something.
Christopher Swing Revival. That's probably a good way to encapsulate it. Yeah.
Hey, Chance, I see Jason was giving advice on places to go in L.A.
L.A. for sure, yeah.
What about the record collector? I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah. We'll touch on that for real quick, and then I want to plug Matt Prime Analog's got a good contest I want to sign off with. But yes, so is anyone on the panel familiar with the record collector on Melrose? Jason, you may.
Let me go look at it. I don't know.
Okay, go ahead and look at it. But
look at his 1-star rating.
I think you know.
Is it like too many records?
No. So,
worse.
This is that's a whole nother animal. So this guy is apparently he's had a shop for a long time on Melrose, owns the building, etc. Has a lot of records, right? And he's very opinionated. He has a helper named Henry, who is kind of like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, where like he's
Igor
fingers, and then the guy goes in the back and like. So here's the quick story. So when I was out in LA for the first time, one of the first times when I was collecting records, right? Where's the record store? Amoeba, the record parlor, yada yada. So this one was near us. It's called the Record Collector. Okay, sure, let's go. But I noticed on Yelp that it was the worst reviewed record store I'd probably ever seen. Like maybe 2 stars collectively, but everything was like 1 star, 1 star, 1 star. And all of them said a lot of the similar vibes. This guy's racist, he's verbally abusive, he'll yell at you. So the vibe that I give it, and David used the analogy when we talked on his stream, was like the soup Nazi. Remember that episode from Seinfeld, right? Like no soup for you. So now I'm interested. Now I'm like, okay. And so at the time I knew kind of what I was looking for based on what I heard this guy had. I was looking for James Brown live at the Apollo 1963 on King, right? So I go in, and browsing is not recommended.
No.
This is a shop where he comes out.
They got to go fetch him.
Yeah. So he comes out and he goes, so what are you looking for? And he's kind of testing you, right? So it's not a place you browse. It's not a place you just walk in off the street. You got to know what you're doing. So I said, I'm looking for James Brown live at Apollo 63. He calls Henry up. Henry goes back, like literally.
That's my style.
Yeah, but and it's not very. It's true. It's very on brand because Henry goes back and while we're kind of waiting there, then you're allowed to kind of. So I'm waiting for this. So I'm kind of browsing, and it's a lot of older records. Nothing I was looking for at the time. Henry comes back. He brings a copy. It's a first press. It's what I was asking for. I pull it out. It's beat to shit. And I'm like, eh. So I know what this goes for generally. Like if I wanted to just go online and buy it, it's probably $50 to $75 at the time, depending on condition. So no price on it. This is why we started talking about David, because there's those shops that don't have their inventory priced, and that's always a pain in the ass because then you got to bring it up to the counter, and sometimes they'll price it on the spot. They'll look it up, blah blah blah. So how much is this? He says 85 or something like that. I was like, and I was based on the conditioners, like, just no way. So now it's like it's a weird first date situation. Like, how do I end this? Because I don't want this record. He's staring at me because I had to like hand it to him after I looked at it. And I kind of set it down. I was like, oh yeah, let me think about it. I'm gonna look at this other stuff real quick. So now I'm like, I got to figure out my exit strategy. So I kind of creep over, and he goes, so what do you think? And I'm like, it's great. I just don't know if I'm the right buyer. Bye. And I just kind of got out of there. It's like Roadrunner, right? So next time I'm in California, we were staying with some friends of ours, and I told them the story, and they were kind of getting into records, and my friend and his partner were like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, look, just follow my lead. You don't browse, and if he asks you what you're looking for, just say something. Okay. So we go, and same thing. The guy, his name's Sandy, comes out and he's like, what do you want? What are you looking for? Very direct. And so I was like, well, I'm kind of looking for some like Blue Note. I forgot what I said. And our friend he goes, Carnegie Hall, because my friend collects recordings from Carnegie Hall. So here comes Henry, here he comes. And that's probably a gross misrepresentation because he didn't have a hunchback, but it was that vibe. So here comes Henry. Boop, 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 boop. He pulls a record, The Weavers, live from Carnegie Hall. Okay. I didn't know anything about this record. Come to find out, you can find this record very easily for like $3 at half price books. It's one of those. So my friend now is like scared because now the guy's like, so what do you think? You want it? And he goes, sure, I'll take it. He goes, how much? $50. So my friend's like, okay. And my friend looks at me. He's like, is that a good price? I'm like, I have no idea. Like, you are literally on the end of the plank. So it's up to you, sink or swim. So my wife and I are kind of itching toward the door because we're ready to get out because like it's going to go bad. He ends up buying the record. A week later, I'm back home in St. Louis. I see it for $3. I send him a picture. I'm like, look at this. Anyway, the reason I tell the story is like on David's stream, we were talking about records that aren't priced. You bring up to the counter. But if you ever go on Yelp or Google, and should I do it again, David? I know I did it on your stream, but
that's okay.
The Yelp, the Google, or wherever you go, Google, Yelp, the reviews are just comically, like, if you want to have a good laugh,
it's funny. It is great to just go on there. Now, once in a while, about every 20th person, you'll see somebody go, this is the greatest place I've ever been to. And you're like, what?
That's his nephew.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it must be somebody because, and what was interesting about Henry before so Henry, he only must say the same stuff. First time he said, I had a Cardinals hat on, and he goes, are you from LA? It's like, no, I'm from St. Louis. And he goes, do you know the Hugh Laurie? Hugh Laurie has been here and bought records. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Hugh Laurie. And he goes, do you know the Michael Jackson? Michael Jackson has bought records here. Okay. And maybe there's something mentally going on, but that was what he said. The second time, said the exact same thing. Do you know the Hugh Laurie? It's like, yeah. Oh, from House? Yeah. He has bought records here. Do you know the Michael Jackson? So he must say that to everybody. But anyway, all right. So I'm gonna actually, well, I'll show them so you guys can see.
Say the name of the shop again.
It's called The Record Collector. Like, very easy. It has a green awning. So
they're silent partners in the VD for the
VD3C.
Oh, Sandy. Oh, that makes complete sense, Elliot. Oh my good. I'm sorry if I've offended you.
That's why Henry walks so funny. That's nothing to clap about, dude.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hang on. Let me see. Here it goes. All right. So I'm just gonna read wow, there's some good reviews. Let's do newest here. You guys can see that. Perfect. Okay. Wow, these are very oh, this is New Jersey. No wonder. I've pulled up the wrong one. Please. Oh, I was like, why are all these 5-star reviews here? I mean, come on. Here we go. Oh,
well, let's give a thumbs up for the New Jersey record shop.
Yeah.
So here it is.
Michael Fremer's hometown.
All right, so let's go to reviews. Let's go. All right, you ready? Okay, so I'm going to go newest. So I'm just going to. All right, here we go. Andy. 1 star. 6 days ago, so very recent. Be very wary going here. Know exactly what you're looking for and how much you're willing to pay for each record. The owner will make up whatever he feels like charging. He quoted no less than 25 and up to 60 for a single record. His claim is always because, quote, it's a first pressing. First pressings do not always equal valuable. Check online what the market value is. And his wild quotes I left and found that what I had selected I could buy online, first pressing for $2 to $9. Also, he will try to guilt trip you when you say you won't pay that much because, quote, he spent time helping you and let you browse. This guy is a well-practiced scam artist and has no business no problem ripping people off. Oh no, this doesn't end well. Just went into this place looking for Beyonce, but didn't tell the owner because I like to enjoy a record store by myself. Basically, the guy was so passive-aggressive about, quote, lookers, I decided to leave. Needs new ownership. I mean, these are, I got to find the one. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. This is, I won't read the whole, I'll read a little bit of this. So this is the one we read on David's stream. Davin Sanchez, 25 reviews, okay?
Yeah, the lady, yeah.
Beware. And actually this review's on Yelp because after our stream, David, I did go on Yelp for like another hour. Like I was up like 3 a.m. reading these because it'd been a while. Because my Yelp review, I gave him like 2 or 3 stars, and I was like, just know what you're looking for. Here's how you handle this guy. So this review, beware, extremely hostile, unpredictable, and unprofessional owner. He will overcharge you. I was in my neighborhood with my 10-month-old daughter record shopping. The owner greeted us and asked what I was looking for. They didn't have the album I wanted, but had another used record that caught my eye. Nothing was priced, so I asked what he wanted for it. The owner said he wanted $25, which I questioned because it was so steep. He then told me new records go for $40 and up, and I said, yeah, sometimes, but not on average. I walked back over to the records I was looking over, took out my phone to check if my wife texted me. He said, no photos. I told him I'm not taking in photos. He then walked over and started talking about audio, digital versus vinyl, and overall sound. Then how he doesn't sell online or whatever. I enjoy this type of talk, so I engaged. I thought I was having a conversation about music with a passionate fellow collector. As the conversation continues, my intuition started telling me that I might be in an argument, but wasn't sure. I continued to be friendly and mentioned him to him that I collect and sell from time to time. His tone got different. He then called me a competitor. I tried to disarm where he was going with the conversation. His tone then got a bit louder and aggressive. I brought up that he was being rude. He said, I'm lucky I'm not yelling. I said, why would you yell? He said, because there's a child present. Mind you, my child is strapped to the front of my body. I asked, why would you yell at all? Very confused by what was happening. He then aggressively said, let's talk about Rycooter. Are you buying it or not? Dumbstruck still and totally aware he was trying to rip me off, I said, I think I'm going to take my business down the street. He then started yelling and cursing at my daughter and I, telling us to get the F out of his shop, called me names, and to never come back again. I mean, so in other words, that's a ringing endorsement to go check this out on your own because it is worth everyone just checking out. And anyway, so
it's no different than being on with Wax every morning. I mean,
well, it's funny because Rachel streamed the next day, and I don't even know how it came up. But Jim Kaplan was in the comments, and somehow it came up, and he goes, "How do you know Sandy?" And I was like, "Oh, we were just talking about David's stream." And so I came online, and I told Rob, I was like, "We have an idea for you, a proposition. Would love to send you to the record collector." And just and film you guys interact because as soon as this guy comes at Rob, Rob is just going to just do his Rob thing, and it would blow the internet. It would destroy. I mean, it would 1 million views. There's no doubt about it. So and Rob seemed amenable to it. He's like, okay, maybe
he lives there. What the hell?
Wow, that would be intense. Yeah,
that would be hilarious. That would
be great.
Anyway, well, guys, let's. I know we went over a little bit. I apologize, but just to kind of clean it up, I did want to highlight good old Matt Prime Analog Records. He's running a contest right now. Again, I know we started talking about contests and how volatile and questionable they can be in terms of results and running them and stuff. But like I said earlier in the stream, Matt's very passionate about certain pieces of music, and Jaco Pastorius is one of them. And he actually found a duplicate of a record that he already had. And so he just wanted to share his love of Jaco with his viewers. So highly encourage checking it out. It'd probably be better practice if I have the link to the video. Wouldn't you say? That would probably be good. But good guy, loves Jaco like I was talking about, and definitely worth checking out. So any fun plans for Sundays, fellas, as we wrap it up here?
Just lose an hour of sleep.
Well, I know, and I totally ruined that. I totally messed up the whole thing. So I apologize. Keep on the comments. Elliot, I apologize. I probably sent you on a loop because I I truly thought we were getting the hour back today, but it's the other way around. I apologize.
Am I the guy? Am I the guy who's the farthest ahead?
Oh yeah, you're East Coast, right? You're New York, so
So
yeah.
is Elliot. So is Elliot.
Oh, Elliot is too. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, the rest of us are central.
But I'm retired. It's just since the pandemic,
Well,
I don't get up and go to church on Sunday.
Well, luckily,
yeah,
it's
I'll just
Sunday,
sleep.
so I can get to sleep in.
Oh, that's awesome. And Caesar, this is a great idea. If you ever do this and go to the record collector, highly encourage letting us know, because this would be a video I would watch. I would set my timer for, because it would be so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen this guy since, I don't know, it's been about 5 or 6 years. No, it's been 6 years, but it's well worth the price of admission. So anyway, fellas, appreciate it. Appreciate the time. I think it was a good chat. Arnaldo, full credit to you for strong arming us into having this this chat. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm glad we were able to all get together at the right time.
Yeah, for sure. And this is how I like to do this. It's like freestyle, and sometimes we have a topic, sometimes it's organized, but for the most part, I don't think we offended too many people. I think hopefully we entertain people. And in Elliot's case, a business proposition of a lifetime.
Yeah. It's time to make money, people.
Vinyl Richie is going to be in LA Monday. Vinyl Richie ought to go in.
Oh my God, Richie, can you please film this? Because I know you and Sandy would just be like oil and water. That would be amazing. Please. Anyway, all right, fellas. It was good to see you all. Let's do it again soon.
Take care.
Enjoyed it.
All right.
Have a good
See
night,
you.
guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Chance.
Take care.
See you guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.